Kahi, thanks for the tier 1. Good job, King. 31 months, huge. You know, I thought we would start off the night with an old classic. With an old classico. You know what I mean? I'll attack things at the prime. 13 months, lucky 13, a baker's a year. Back at it again with the chillin'. For your listening pleasure tonight, a little...
Good job, King.
Oh, hey, disaster plan. Thanks for the disaster and the plan for the tier 1, TY. Anyway, for your listening enjoyment on the intro tonight, we're going to pull in some Yuzo Koshiro. You know, a little Streets of Rage. Damn, they don't synth those like they used to. Am I right, SJ Arcade? 1994 as music. True, as was foretold in Twitch notifications of old. And old's right. Anyway, poof. I don't need Baron, right? Can I rain? Can we rain walk? I guess doing this fine evening. I myself am slightly late. Apologies. Good evening, Mr. Well. Have you seen the new Gloomspite battle trait? What do you think? You know what? That's a wonderful question. How appropriate. I'm going to look at it right now. Recommendations for a budget office chair. I don't have a good one taxied to stock. Whenever I try to buy a budget chair, I pay for it later. If you are young, you can kind of sit in anything and it doesn't matter. If you're not young, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it. Also, I have several chronic back injuries that will never go away and have only been lingering forever, and so I gotta be like extra picky about it. One thing I will say is, you know those gamer chairs? Those gamer chairs? They look like a seat inside of a Jaguar. They suck and are very uncomfortable. It's all hype. It's like buying an Apple product, right? Also, Herman Miller, trash. Just not worth it. I just get a big-ass comfy chair for like a CEO desk that'll last forever, and that's generally what I use. I buy a new one every 10 years or so. Hey, shouldn't there be music in the background? There we go. Yeah, all right. Chairs where you hit the road, spend enough, don't cheap out. Yeah, pretty much. Get you a Uline 450-pound rated chair. Shit's dope, says SJRK. This man manages spaces and people, warehouses and humans. So he probably knows chairs pretty good. I work from a chair as well. So really, either of us probably. Finally, someone said it. Herman Millers are overcosted. Yeah, they're like way too expensive, but also I don't think they're just not comfortable chairs at all to me. But, you know, to each their own, I suppose. Go to Office Depot and spend about $200, $250 on a nice office chair. Chubby fun stuff, yeah, that's basically what I recommend. Go to an office store of some sort. Really sit in the chairs. Give them a test drive in person. You just can't know unless you've sat in the thing, right? And then spend more than you're willing to on it. There's stuff you can cheap out on. I don't think you should cheap out on a chair. Anyway, great question to start the stream. I'm clicking in Giga right now. You can see it light up on my face because there's no dark mode. Is there a dark mode finally? There's a menu. Let me check their website for the first time in a little while. Any dark mode havers? You are currently logged into the English version of the site. Yeah, I am. That's true. Man, Games Workshop. Dark mode, please. Man's like Miniature is so happy to catch a stream. Yeah. Yeah, there was less streaming last week. Apologies for that. I'm going to pick up the pace here on the old going live business. I, too, sit from time to time. Any sitters in the chat? Yeah. Anyway, let's get this news out of the way. From Giga, through the way of James Workshop website. Boom. The Four Faces of the Bad Moon. And how they influenced the Gloomspite Giets. I didn't know they did this because I didn't see this. Oh, please. Could it be that they've read... Oh, because the Battle Tome's coming out. Could it be... Could it be that the battle rate is finally not annoying? I almost don't even care if it's good. I just hope that it's not annoying. Let's read on. The Shine-stealing grots of the Git mob are hurtling across Hiesh as we speak. In a ferocious new army box featuring drugs, the Sun Champa, which is available to pre-order on Saturday. These speed-drunk grots may be more concerned with the sneering contempt of the glare-face Frazzle Legit than the lure of the Bad Moon. But that cantankerous lunar deity still has an undeniable effect on all grots. In times past, the Bad Moon was as capricious as it was cruel, coming and going as it pleased and watching the Gloomspite Gits scuttle around in panic and frenzy. That all changes. In the upcoming Battle Tome Gloomspite Gits, you'll be able to set your watch to its waxing and its waning. I kind of like what I'm reading so far. They're preparing me for it emotionally, right? With new battle traits, the Gloomspite Gits are now always cavorting and under its sickly glow, and now it starts each battle round on one of 4 malevolent expressions, cycling through them each battle round. Okay. Cycling through them each, are we stealing a little bit of the cycle of corruption from old Nurgle, perhaps? Let's read this. Once per battle round army, start of battle round, faces of the Bad Moon. The Bad Moon hurtles erratically around the realms in madcap orbits, empowering its worshippers and troubling all others with insane visions. You must use this ability at the start of the battle round. If multiple players are commanding a Gloomspite Gits army, then instead at the start of the battle round, those players roll off and only the winner declares and uses this ability. Okay. If it's the first battle round, pick the starting face. Grinning, scowling, sulking, or cackling. If it is not the first battle round, the face of the Bad Moon moves to the next phase of this sequence. So pick the starting phase. I guess there isn't one called the starting phase, right? So we are simply choosing one of these 4. And I see that the army is split in quads here. Non, Squig, Moon Clan, and Spiderfang. Okay, so we're just putting Moon Clan and Spiderfang together. It won't be 5 armies in one box. It'll be 4, but one of them just kind of shows up, huh? Okay. Grinning, scowling, sulking, cackling. Read text? What's that? Oh, it just makes it plain text, so it's easier to read. Got it. Okay, I didn't know what to read. I thought maybe it would be speaking to me. Grinnin', scowlin', sulkin', and cacklin'. By turn. Each new grimace empowers different aspects of the Gloomspite. Good old-fashioned Moon Clan grots are turned into frothing zealots, who will vociferously defend their latest conquest when the moon is cackling or grinning. Okay, so it's the connecting tissue here, right? Cackling or grinning or scowling. I'm starting not to like this rule the more I read about it. Or you get to pick the starting point, but then must you use it every battle round, or does it just last? Okay. I mean, we'll read on, but the moonlit hides the Trogos become even tougher when the moon is grinning or scowling. Perhaps you'll want to begin battle under the winning grin to ensure 2 turns of protection against armies that want to get up close. This choice gives canny commanders a wealth of approaches for armies and army composition. Okay, so does it just wear off then? Like you get it for 2 turns and then it shuts off forever? You know, getting it for 2 turns and having it shut off forever was one of the complaints about the old one. It's kind of like we're codifying it here. Anyway, again, I'll read on. Under the light of the Bad Moon, frothing while the Bad Moon is cackling or grinning, add 5 to the control scores. Add 5 to the control scores of the 40-man unit part of the army. I don't know why they care or would want that. Bad buff. Sneaky Snarlfang. So the bad one is Sulkin or Cacklin. Friendly Git mob that they can charge and shoot even if they used retreat, but not run. I mean, retreat and charge is good. That's always a good ability to retreat and charge. Sometimes even to repeat and shoot. You know. And then Moonlit Hide, this was the good one because it was +1 armor. Well, the bad one is Grin and Scout and subtract 1 from the rend characteristic of combat attacks, target friendly Troggoth units. Damn. Okay, so the Troggoth one got nerfed. +1 armor was too good. We've changed it to subtract 1 from the rend characteristic. They're pretty close, but against non-rend, obviously, that's weaker. Okay. We only see 3 of them, right? But there are 4. We don't know what Squig does yet. Oh, yeah, combat attacks. Hold on. As I scrolled up, yeah, Lord Vladik. Only combat attacks. Okay, so okay, so instead of a meaningful but potentially kind of whatever, much bigger nerf. Much bigger nerf against good armies, for the most part, but yeah, that's kind of big. Peepo Comfy thanks for the big prime. I appreciate it for 33 months. Yeah. Did we need another one? Capering Grot shamans and mystics have experienced an epiphany from this new moon. And after chewing on a crop of inspiration mushrooms, they have rewritten the lore of the clammy dank to suit the change in the bad moon's humors. Bad portents replaces sneaky distraction, granting the caster a chance to tell the bad moon what face should be pulling with a roll d6. Ushering in the next main. In a cycle, roll through to 5. You know, it's just, can I read? I just want to read the rules text. All right, Bad Portents. It is a spell cast on a 6. This is your unlimited spell. Pick a friendly GSG wizard to cast the spell. Roll a die on a 1 to 2, nothing happens. I love, great work. I love it. I love it. I love succeeding at a spell, having the spell not get unbound, and then still having it do nothing. I love that. Awesome. 3 to 5, the face of the bad moon moves to the next face. On a 6, pick a new face. All right, I don't like it. So you're trying to like spin this thing around with all your wizards that you may or may not have a lot of wizards to just keep it in the Troggoth zone. And it's unlimited, so you can keep spinning the wheel instead of the spell just working. What did your unlimited spell used to be? Was the unlimited spell you used to have, like, good? If so, that's even worse. Let me check the tapes.
We take a look at the tail of the tape.
Some of them may be involved with exotic stuff, like dark matter.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sander Van Oker.
All right. Your unlimited spell used to be Sneaky Distraction. Pick a friendly, Gloomspite gets Wizard. Till the start of your next turn, -1 from hit rolls attacks made by enemy units while they're wholly within 12 of the caster. No target. Not a target, it's just when they enter the 12-inch. So it breaks my rule of 12-inch range spells that effect. Your enemies are bad. 7 is a touch annoying, but no, this was a good unlimited spell. It was like not a bad unlimited spell. All right, so we got rid of a not bad unlimited spell, and we gave a stupid slot machine trying to fix your awful battle trait again. Okay. I'm not super pleased with this. I'm not liking what I'm reading. When Gloomspite armies can't be bothered to dance, and when Gloomspite army writers can't be bothered to write anything good to the tune of the Bad Moon's facial contortions, they call upon the malevolent moon from the dank manifestations lore. Sorcerer's slice of Selenic simulacra bathes every unit wholly within 12 of it in a lurid light. Simulates all 4 phases of the Bad Moon, letting your army reap all of its benefits at once. Okay, but one of the things that I think would have been really important if you have this many things interacting with your battle traits, your unlimited spell, that's a big thing, right? One of your manifestations, it's a big thing. The race of all of your creatures, it's a big thing. I would have spent a little more time making the bonuses great. And it's also Holy 12. How fast does this thing move? Bad Moon may be careening all over the realms, but that doesn't mean the glare-face Frazzlegiat isn't baking brains and raising tempers. Will be basking in its infernal radiance and taking a look at how the Git Mob do battle tomorrow. All right. Thanks. I don't like it. Yeah, I wish this was fun and good. The Trogoth one is a lot worse. Retreat and Charge and Shoot is pretty decent, depending. Frothing Zealots is bad. It's like a vague corner case of a hero standing somewhere to count 5, kinda, but I don't care. Your unlimited spell is a lot worse and super random besides. And one of these things to get that. Yeah.
Good job, King.
Don't like it. I don't like it. This thing has sucked for years and years and years and years, and we will not fix it. I wonder if this is like considered a big change. Does this mean a bunch else is changed in the book? Because this is technically this isn't a copy paste job, right? Like they changed a lot. They changed this. They changed the unlimited spell. I believe that's what Malevolent Light from the Moon always did, or something close to it. Man, they're really, I don't know. They've like done a lot of things, but all of them are bad. So you can't say that they didn't do stuff. Like they put in the effort. I guess at least it's covering the whole table. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not worse. Well, if you're Trogoths, it is worse. But aside from that, which is how most people played the army, as a matter of fact. Anyway, FEMONK 100, thanks for the 45 months. Appreciate it. TY for the T1. I'm going to click on walk so that I can click away from that awful website and not have the brightness over here. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Only great games thanks to the tier 1 40 months. GW says, destruction mechanic will be random and do nothing 2/3 of the time because that's fun. They can't stop themselves. That being said, this one's a poison pill from the very beginning. I read the Moon Clan one and I'm like, that ability sucks. And so if you're playing Moon Clan and your battle trait sucks for you, that means your unlimited spell is a total blank, and one of your manifestations is a total blank. That's sad. Maybe you're just supposed to mix and match all of them. Are we doing a Ogre Maw Tribes where every battle tome there'll be less and less distinction between the races? I don't think so. We've been keeping pretty consistent. Although Spiderfang get lobbed in with Moon Clan. We added a 4th faction to your book and kept the RNG faction bonus. Thanks. Thank you. Control score has been such a fun hobbling mechanic. I mean, it replaces a fun hobbling mechanic. Well, not really a fun hobbling mechanic, but I think control score has just been largely a nothing mechanic. It's the next. It matters more than Battle Shock did. Maybe. But it's just another +1 bravery bonus you can put on War Scrolls that at the end of the day doesn't really matter. Remember when we were looking at 4th edition? And we were looking over it, and I was like, well, it wasn't just me, it was basically everybody. We're like, man, if control score doesn't matter, this edition is gonna have a whole lot of War Scrolls and abilities that are useless and terrible. So, man, we really hope they find a way to make control score matter, because if it doesn't, so much of the game is like kind of worthless on its face. And it's not that control score doesn't matter, but it doesn't really matter. You know how you capture a point? You kill the things on it. Doesn't matter what anyone's control score is. If you kill the people on the point, you get the point. And so you're going to build armies that way. You're not a Gits player, but in fantasy it was always random grab bag factions, so focusing Rocket Spiders is always kind of weird to you. Not saying it's good, though. I don't mind if it's a random grab bag faction, I suppose. If it's a random grab bag faction, maybe don't care so much about the race of the creature. Maybe care about something else. Maybe full-size games are just too killy for it to matter. Yeah, mostly, yeah. But also consider that that's how players are going to want to build towards, right? It's kind of how players build stuff. If they can ignore what seems like an annoying minor mechanic, they'll build in such a way to try to ignore it. They really went into the edition thinking things would be more durable. I think they really did only great games. That's what they kept telling us. They're like, damage is down this edition. We're rebalancing all this stuff. Damage is down. I wonder what it would have been like to play that 4th edition, where damage was down instead of arguably up. Did they think battles on points would last more than a turn? Well, they did a lot of the time in 1st edition and 2nd edition, but in 3rd, defense was so outmatched by offense that in general that kind of gameplay never really mattered. And the game shifted from letting you win if you just held points to requiring you to do a whole bunch of battle tactics, which are all various ways of saying kill something. And if you're going to let people win or lose the game based on a bunch of different ways to say kill something, then you're going to get people building killier armies. Is that how the lunch break version of the game works? I don't know. I played Spearhead twice. It was very fun. But I don't want to play it again because I like building armies. And I like playing with big armies and stuff. Whiskey Lima, thanks for the whiskey and the Lima for 44. Big. Thanks for the tier 1. You're of the understanding that people generally didn't like strong defense AoS as it can be very boring. Yeah, that's true. It can be boring. It can be frustrating when your stuff doesn't do anything. According to their market research, if your guys charge into something and do 0 damage, you feel worse than if your guys just die. I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, they've leaned the other way. Yeah, and smaller armies means killing is more impactful too. You found control to be more meaningful in Spearhead? I would imagine it would be. This was probably written before 4th came out, but was changed for the index because Gitmob wasn't out yet. You're sure GW thought control score would be a bigger deal? I think so too. I also think a lot of these battle tomes seem to have been written a million years ago. Possibly before the game came out. At least some of them were the ideas for them or something like that. Especially as evidenced from the, like, Cruel Boys is in a pretty good state with all sorts of changes and everything. And then the battle tome comes out and resets the clock 2 years ago. Possibly even 3. And it's like, it showed me a point of friction between constant balance updates, which have been mostly pretty good. Every time we get a big balance update, they're much bigger than they were before, and more often I'm reading it and I'm just like, great change, great change. It looks like you play the game, you know. The Sylvaneth one was really good. The some of the Orc one, like you're reading and so these are good, you know, digital updates that are probably affecting, you know, the meta and playstyle and stuff. These are good. And then a book comes out with dust on the cover from a million years ago. And they're just like, hey, remember all that progress you made? Get out of here. Back to the drawing board. The free indexes, in fact, have been looking so good that it makes their, yeah, like SJ said, it makes their premium physical battle tome products look terrible, right? $50. The rules inside are garbage, rewinding all of the progress we made with indexes, changing things up, seemingly just to change them. It makes their physical stuff look terrible compared to their digital index stuff, which is free. I almost don't want a battle tome to come out for my army, because then I have to pay $50 for my army to get worse and less fun. You know? Why would I want that as the customer? Not gonna lie, you heard a take you agree with. They should make rules free and just make tomes $300 of lore and art. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been banging on that drum for quite a while. My stump speech on that one has always been free digital live, you know, living document rules. And for the super pay pigs, you have battle tomes be purely like a collector's edition thing, made to order, $130 US, engraved gold leaf cover, you know, everything like that. And it's just like a giant collector's edition thing with a million photographs and art and everything in it. But as far as playing the game is concerned, you just use the online digital indexes, which shall be free. And that's actually good for the customer who's trying to play the game. Should have a positive effect on playing statistics, even if those are small. And it's not a waste of money offering it for free because it'll just come out of the marketing budget. Because that's kind of what it is. It's marketing except towards people that would play a game instead of just buy something and not paint it right. But HeyWoah, that's only how every other war game does it. There's no way that would work. Well, you do bring up a good point. Because as far as war games are concerned, there's Games Workshop, which is like a several billion-dollar worldwide recognizable property, and there's every other war game, which no one's ever heard of. So you're right that doing it their way might not seem very successful, shall we say, right? But I don't think it's because... I don't think those other war games are successful, or are so unsuccessful compared to GW. I don't think that's the case because their rules are pro-customer, like, and player. It has other stuff. It certainly isn't because of their, yeah. It's not like good rules are bad for you as a company, right? A beautiful leather-bound tome of lore for my cannibalistic fat guys. Yeah. Imagine the rules designers are just as frustrated with the physical medium as the rest of us, but the producers make them keep doing it. Of course. Yeah. People think I'm simping for Matt Rose when I point things out like that. But, please understand that I'm not exactly simping for Matt Rose. I'm shitting on his bosses. There's a difference. Some of the stuff you can blame somebody on, and some of the stuff it's clear that was an order from above. That's one of those, like, I want all my groceries in one bag, but I don't want the bag to be heavy kind of orders you get, where it's just like, okay, fuck you, that sounds stupid, but I guess I have to do it. Yeah, if you're doing quarterly updates and indexes, and now you have to juggle physical media coming out that has to be prepared 2 years ago, that's obviously like a bad thing. That probably fucks with your shit all the time, internally. It's just interesting that it fucks with your shit making it, and it fucks with our shit trying to interact with it as customers, right? Nobody likes it. Somebody likes it. Some bean counter somewhere on a Windows 11 calculator. On a balance sheet seems to like it. But the people making it are probably frustrated by it. And the people, ostensibly, that it's for are as well. If there's a different war game at the top, they'd be just as anti-consumer. They're here to make dash. I probably said the word anti-consumer, and I don't know if I want to use that kind of language, right? Anti-consumer is like a gotcha game or lying or something like that. This is just like stupid, I guess. I don't mean to make it sound like an FTC thing, right? Like the Federal Trade Commission doesn't need to get involved. It's just dumb and kind of bad for everyone. Ahem. You wonder how Magic is able to relatively successfully control a meta with sets 2 years out, but everyone else just collapses under the weight of it. Well, here's the thing. They've been doing much worse at that, but it's for the same exact reason. Suits above them have so obviously pushed, so obviously pushed to release this, release that, make this thing more powerful, have this Eternal format start rotating. We need more DraftKings, McDonald's inserts. We're going to make Modern Horizons. There's so much more of that recently in Magic that I don't... The volatility of the metagame has been very noticeable, okay? And it hasn't even just been recently, but it has been noticeably kicked up a notch every year forever. But the reason they do that, only great games, only great questions. Magic hires people. That's why. It's because they hire people. You know? Magic has playtesters in-house. They pay them. It's called the Future League. They hire former pro players to try to break future metagames for them so they can predict. They hire people. They have multiple different stages of playtesting. There's competitive playtesting. There's flavor playtesting. There's playtesting for like the look and feel of a particular mechanic even. Ooh, how do good players feel about that? How do bad players feel about that? How do low information voters feel about that? We're going to come up with psychographic profiles so that we can start targeting brains and types of people, right? There are more people employed by wizards that have to do with psychographic profiles and whether or not the 5 colors of magic are kind of balanced between each other mechanic-wise than Games Workshop has for all of their rules writers for all of their games put together. Okay? It's because Magic actually gives a shit about rules, and so they hire people. Games Workshop seems like a company to me where, like, if there's a god, he commanded them not to ever hire anyone. If you hire even a quarter of the people that would be reasonable for any job, we'll kill you. That's like written on James Workshop's desk in glued together pieces of newspaper, you know? If you hire more rules writers than Crucible 7 Studios, we'll kill you. Like, okay, I better not. You think not having to rewrite the rules every 3 to 4 years probably also helps? I think less work went into the most recent set of Magic than went into rewriting all of AoS's rules. And it shows. They are a way bigger team that does way more work at every stage of the process. And most of the stages of the process, Games Workshop doesn't even do. Oh, it's Cubicle 7. It's not Crucible 7. Pardon me, Femonk. Thunder Junction does not interest me in the slightest. Yeah, that one was dumb. Everybody gets a cowboy hat. Yeah, that was a dumb one. That wasn't a good one. I also don't like the modern day stuff from the Duskmourn. Taking Morningtide and Shadowmoor and then giving us Duskmourn was so embarrassing for them. Aether Drift, wow. You know, I was going to go over Aether Drift Because I got a 4th commander deck I want to build for Adepticon when I show up to Milwaukee and play commander against the Flats from the Discord and stuff. Bloomborough was fantastic. I liked Bloomborough. That was a good set. It reminded me, Bloomborough was such a breath of fresh air because it reminded me of a Magic the Gathering set. And I hadn't seen one of those in a while. I'd seen a bunch of bullshit, but I hadn't seen like a real-ass Magic set in a while. I kept looking through it and seeing wonderful artwork and creativity made with care and intention for an IP that they owned, you know? And I started to sweat because I hadn't seen an advertisement printed on a card for some fucking stupid-ass HBO Max show in like 10 minutes looking through the cards. I didn't know where I was. I started to get scared. Am I at least getting Burger King tokens here? Anyway, I think there were a new sequence of spoilers and stuff coming out for Aether Drift. I scrolled through it a few days ago, and I'm like, this looks... I hesitate to say trash. It's just that I don't like it. I don't care about vehicles. The speed mechanic sucks. I don't like exhaust. The cards all seem really weak. I was not looking forward to energy coming back. Look, it's just not for me, and not everything has to be for me. You can print a set or two that is just not about me, and that's fine, right? No big deal. And then I looked at all the legendary creatures, and they're all terrible, except the one Esper guy who looks really good for CEDH. So Magic, you're building out your AoE deck, and you're curious if one counterspell is worth putting in. If you have something to tutor for it, yeah. If your win con involves drawing a bunch of cards somehow, yeah. If you're playing 100 cards and you're just putting like a single counterspell in because who knows, you might draw it, I don't know. Generally, I would have a protection suite, and you can consider counterspells to be part of your protection suite, but it should have enough cards in it, say 8, you know, so that you could expect maybe a card to protect you every once in a while, you know, on a particular turn. If your commander's one that you're going to want to be out, Fierce Guardianship is good. If not, then it kind of depends on how many colors you're in. I like the 1 mana cost ones. But yeah, if you just have 99 cards in your commander and the only control or protection card in it is just a single counterspell and nothing else at all, then it's sort of a drop in the bucket, like it could be. She's Jeskai, that's where you're at. You're at 99 with some decent evasion and such, but you don't have like an instant counter. Do you have a lot of card draw? You have a decent amount of card draw, or maybe like a, what's that, the 3 mana mage that enters and you can search for an instant or something. Some way to get it, right? If you happen to need it. What's the Jeskai AOM? Ahem. Shield Maiden. I just brought her up. First strike 5/4/5 at the beginning of combat in a turn if another human entered. Create 2 red humans. Then if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. Okay. So you do kind of want her out, I suppose, right? because she makes stuff, and then she lets you draw cards sometimes. It's only once a turn, though, right? Because it triggers at the beginning of combat on your turn, not on entering. Full human tribal, okay. Wide win cons. Yeah, maybe in a deck like this, you want to go a little more protecty, you know? Teferi's protection. What's the... There's a white card that phases out all your creatures, and it has Convoke. I would recommend that one for something like this. Because you can technically cast it for free, and phasing stuff out is the best way to protect it from board wipes and cyclonic rifts and things like that. I can't remember what the card is called, but it costs 4, it's got Convoke, and it phases stuff out. And not everybody gets to run it, because not everybody has enough creatures to Convoke it for free, right? Yeah, Galadriel is a good one. I would put Galadriel's in there for sure, because it costs 1 mana. And you can use it offensively or defensively. Where you can save yourself from a board wipe by casting it on yourself to phase out all your guys. But you can also cast it on your opponent to phase out all their blockers and then just kill them, right? So it's good offense, good defense. Yeah, Clever Concealment's the card, Ozzy. Yeah, thank you. I mean, a counterspell or two could be kind of nice. You're in the colors, you might as well dip your toe in, but you're certainly... You're not trying to be like a... Ahem. Obviously not trying to be like a control deck or anything, but... Counterspells are a decent way to protect yourself. Guardian of Faith, P good too. Yeah, Guardian of Faith, he's the flash guy for 3, right? 3 is certainly more than I want to pay to protect my board, you know? I only grudgingly do it for Teferis because the card's so stupidly pushed that it gets a, you know, it protects you from literally everything, just about. I like to pay 1 if I can, 2 I guess. The Unified Will might be nice. Is that the card I'm thinking of? Oh, okay. It's not the card I'm thinking of. Alright. Counter target spell if you control more creatures than the spell's controller. I very disagree with this one. If you're only going to put 1 counter spell in the deck, put one in that always works. You want a counter spell that will counter a spell if you're losing and counter a spell if you're winning. Especially if you're only running 1. Like, a lot of times your opponent might have more creatures than you because you're just giga screwed. You don't want giga screwed to turn into your cards don't work either, right? You know, counterspell might not be the best choice because you're a 3-color deck. It might be that your land base isn't really good or expensive. Doesn't have to be Arcane Denial, but, you know, something, right? I would rather it be a counterspell that always works rather than one contingent on Wind Mooring. I would run Unified Will if it was like if I was running like a whole bunch of counterspells, but I don't like the conditional ones too much. Yeah, Mana Drain, I mean, it depends. If he's in the fetch lands and dual lands mana base, then yeah, Mana Drain, counterspell, stuff like that. But if he's in the, you know, a bunch of lands tapped, that ETB tapped, and then also a bunch of basics, and who knows, then maybe not. It's okay to play a blue deck and have no counter spells, I think. It's okay. You know, sometimes you're going to lose because you don't, and sometimes the table might expect you to do that, but, you know, you'll have to let them know you're not that kind of blue deck. And whether they believe you or not is kind of up to them. Like, for instance, in Glarb, one of the themes of my Glarb deck is to be more greedy than I even should be. And so, since we're max greeding it, I'm not even running any counter spells in Glarb. Because we're being even greedier, you know. And, you know, it just means you play on your turn more, and you lose to combo more. But it wasn't the type of deck that I was trying to build, so, you know, fair enough. Yeah, but also run Stifle, yeah. What's the Stifle for 2 with Split Second? That one's kind of funny as well. I always forget the name of it. You got fetches and duels and stuff? Oh, okay. Well, then maybe Counterspell. Just the catch-all that works on anything. Yeah, Trickbind. That's it, Wayward Alva. That's it. Anyway, am I looking at Aether Void spoilers? I think we were going to do a Magic content tonight. I kind of forgot about it because we were looking at the Giat stuff. Oh yeah, SG Arcade, let's go. Big Magic. Hey, I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back. Any Big Magic? I see that Humongous Ego has another big question, which I will read when I return. Back from a word from our sponsors.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the
Cream.
Let's find out.
Let your fingers do the walking.
I'm Mr. Buckets. Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Buckets.
What do you get when you press on a can of Noxema?
Great balls of comfort.
You get.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, well, I heard that before. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
You can make this creamy cheese sauce in seconds with American cheese and
Cream.
mushroom Lipton cup of soup. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
Oh, yeah.
Help! The
Cream in the World Wrestling Federation.
Wait a minute,
and there is
More real meat. You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he.
And so will he. Anyway, let me hop in disc here. Oh yeah, I gotta, hold up. I have to edit the stream info. We're just chatting over here. I don't want the Twitch cops to come after me. Not yet. Appreciate the advice. Another question is heirloom blade garbage? Not sure. Let me read it. Heirloom blade. Group creature 3/1. When it dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card that shares creature type with it. Put in your hand, the rest on the bottom. In human tribal, that seems like alright. But I want to get rewarded, I guess. So, yeah, this does seem alright, because you always want to be drawing a new army. The problem with tribal decks is when someone wraths you, you're kind of out of it, right? Heirloom Blade doesn't seem terrible. I might go for Key of the City, which is sort of like the inside-out version of it. It gives you more stuff for connecting. But then again, I don't know how big your humans are. Just a bunch of pseudo card draw that's kind of happening, right? Was Elfrio Reveals already discussed on another stream? Yeah, we went over them. I was live for that one. I caught that one. The new Giat mob. Anyway, let me hop into Discord. Headphone users, caution. Akira noise incoming. Da. Mr. SJ Arcade.
It's me.
Let's go to the desktop here. Oh yeah, I can close Gietz. There were more Aetherdrift spoilers today, were there not?
The Aetherdrift spoiler pages are filled to the brim.
They're brimming? All right. Yeah, the stream was just black for you, Dinma. Don't worry about it. I clicked past it. Any Rakdos enjoyers in the chat? Well, perfect timing to ask a question like that, Mustard. SG Arcade has played a Rakdos or two in this arena.
Standard Rakdos enjoyer over here.
Are we making fun of Aetherdrift? I don't think we're making fun of it. I'm just going to scroll through it and try to see if they revealed a commander that I would like to play. Maybe I could whip something up before Adepticon.
So I'm going to preamble Aetherdrift a little bit after reading through a bunch of it.
Sure.
There's two things to do here. Either you're going to, or let's say three. You're going to find one or two cards that are going to fit in your awesome artifact deck.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to build a deck around max speed, whatever the fuck that mechanic is. And I would suggest if you're going to even play with it, you have to build your deck almost halfway around it. And then, man, zombie decks are going to eat so good out of this set.
Zombie decks?
Like, why the fuck are zombie decks eating so well out of this deck? I have no idea. But there's a lot of zombie tribal love.
All right. Now, I'm coming at this from commander player, right? I'm not coming into this like ooh, what is this in standard, or what am I thinking about draft? So, my, is this supposed to be Mario right here?
Look at the blue shell guy right next to him.
Mario Lugigi. Yeah, and then the blue shell.
Robot turtle. Yeah, that's
cool.
My nose hurt. It's sitting on it so hard.
Why isn't he called Mario? Like, why didn't Nintendo pay for him to be on the card? Amon cooked.
Nintendo probably going to be in Lorcana or its own game relatively soon.
True. Disney's Nintendo's Aetherdrift. All you wanted from Aetherdrift was Ragavan and a hot rod. I didn't think of that, but now you are right. Yeah, that's correct. And they left you disappointed. Well, that's too bad.
They goofed.
Max speed reminds you a lot of Mutate. It will get 0 support outside of the set and will feel weirdly separate. No, I don't think so, because it's not like Spirit, or it's not like Arcane from Kamigawa. It's not like Energy from Kaladesh. And it's not like Mutate, trapped in whatever that set was. Because causing your opponents to lose life is something that any deck can do. And so you can get max speed with other cards from other sets. And so I think it'll be fine. But they just didn't print any more arcane cards, so you can never trigger half of the stuff from that. And it took them forever to come out with more energy, so Kaladesh was trapped for a while in its bin, And Mutate is just like a garbage mechanic, and they never print. Yeah, anyway.
What is tragedy about Mutate? They could have done something with that.
I mean, maybe. I still don't know how it works because I didn't play at that time, really. But it sounds annoying.
Oh, it's annoying. It's basically if they did banding right. So take that for what you will.
Hey, all right. I don't like max speed at all, though. I don't know. Just as maybe I'm looking at it from Commander Brain or something. The card reads, play this card and nothing happens for 4 entire turns, and then it does something. No thanks. Just no thanks. Like, I would rather the card just do the thing, and there's 60,000 cards to choose from, and there probably has been a card printed that just does that effect, except right away, instead of waiting forever. Ironically, the speed mechanic is incredibly slow. which strikes me as weird.
Yeah, it's especially weird that you also have to do something. It's not like you're foretelling a max speed in 4 turns. You also have to do a damage to something.
Yeah, it's not just suspend.
You're
It's
stuck.
Yeah, you have to keep
and it's
doing
gonna be
stuff.
6-7 turns.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. That's for sure. One of your favorite commanders, Matthew Lalonde, is a Vevictus Asmodi spellslinger. Play unsleeved and riffle shuffle. Truly Elder Dragon Highlander. The entire goal is to ramp enough to pump Vevictus 21 and swing in there. This guy's playing EDH. Everybody else is playing Commander. Good work. You don't mind exhaust? I kind of do. I don't know. Using something like one time ever. You know, you can only use this once.
Until you blink it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it synergizes pretty well with blink, possibly a reanimation, you know, return it to your hand or something like that. Flicker effects. It reminds me of the old they weren't guild mages, it was, I want to say Ravnica, where there were like 2/2s for 2, and then they had some ability on them that cost 9. And it's like all your creatures get 5/5 or something like that. And it's like, okay, it's something you can play early, but then it's got essentially a once per game, tap all your lands, something happens, you know. It kind of feels like that a little bit. Except instead of making it cost a whole bunch, it's a more reasonable cost, but you can only ever use it one time. A lot of stuff that you use on creatures ends up only getting to be used once for various reasons. I guess it's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna... The blue shell, I don't like it. I don't like Nintendo being on my Magic card. I guess this whole set is Mad Max plus, I guess the whole set is just Redline, right? Redline the anime.
Hey, let's get some tunes for the scroll.
Mad Max, Akira, Redline. I don't think I can play Redline stuff. It's also
gas.
It's so hype. And what I'm doing is so not hype. I'll put something in the background.
We chillin'.
Oh, I haven't seen this Gearhawk. I saw the green-white one. I like the green-white one. It's kind of like a Ranger of EOS, except better, worse. More better than worse, but much harder to cast. Double Strike Prowess, 2/5 for 5. When it enters for each opponent, put up to 1 target online permanent. 3rd from the top. That's good. Yeah. In Commander, I tend to really like the triggered abilities that begin with for each opponent. One of the problems with single target removal in Commander is that, you know, 2 of your opponents are even, and then you're down a card and your opponent's down a creature, right? So there's an imbalance there. But if you're doing stuff that affects everyone, you can at least have some parity. So, putting it in their library 3rd from the top, a lot of times in Commander means they just draw it next turn, or now they can tutor for it again or something, but, you know, I'd prefer it just exiling it forever. But yeah, Riptide Gearhawk, that's like maybe, you could maybe play this thing. Obviously it synergizes with Flicker very well, but everything does. And 5 is a better rate than the 7 you typically have to spend for something like that.
Or look at the spell for 2 on the next row, that Voyage Home. It's a nice little white-blue card draw.
Affinity, you draw 3 and gain 3. Yeah, for 2. Yeah. Sort of a big thought cast. It's kind of interesting. Speed Demon, huh? Flying Trample 5/5 for 5. Start your engines. The beginning of your end step. You draw X cards, lose X life, where X is your speed. Okay. I don't hate it. Even at 1, it's still kind of good. so I don't hate it. It works on end step rather than upkeep, and most of Speed Demon's non-starter engines contemporaries are drawing an extra card on your upkeep and dealing a damage to you. I'm trying to think. There's another 5 mana demon that does that. Thoughtcast. Yeah, true. You get it, like a demon, but he goes fast. Yeah, hey, remember the phrase speed demon? What if it didn't have haste? What if there was nothing particularly fast about the card, you know, Mel-wise?
Come on, it's mono black. It costs 5 with no haste. That's all speed.
Yeah, it's all speed, baby. It doesn't even enter tapped. When this vehicle enters, return target artifact or creature in mono value X from the graveyard to the battlefield. Neat. Four or less. Menace reach. Cycling. Thundering Broodwagon is weird. All of these cards, I'm seeing them, and I'm just, like, sad that they're all vehicles. I just want them to be creatures instead.
There's a new Trinket Mage line down there with the Transit Mage.
Oh, there's finally a 4. Oh, it's 4 or 5. We completed it. We got everything, right? Because we have Trinket Mage for 0 and 1. We have, what is it called? There's Trinket Mage, there's, it's not Treasure Mage, because that's the 6-up one. Anyway, there's one for 3, I can't remember its name right now, to search for something mana cost 3. There's one to search for something mana cost 2. And then there's Treasure Mage, which looks for 6 or greater. And now we have 4 or 5. So we finally have a Trinket Mage for every mana value from 0 to whatever, 16.
And I'm sorry, Mark Poole, but I don't know about that art.
Wait, that's Mark Poole? That is Mark Poole, the man who drew the original Tropical Islands and stuff?
It's a good use of color.
Okay, so this art sucks, but for Mark Poole, it's pretty good.
Damn, all right. Mark Poole getting
Catching strays. Looks like that guy from Day of the Tentacle. Anyway, this is cool. I'm happy that, well, not the art. Hopefully there's an alt art. I'm happy that they finally completed the cycle. I don't know if that goes in anything I'm looking for, but that's cool. Oh, it does. Yeah, Hoagie. Yeah. Dude, it goes in Solemn Simulacrum Secret Commander.
I was about to say it finds Solemn.
Finally, there's a Trinket Mage to find Solemn Simulacrum. Perfect. All right. This is it.
This set, 5 out of 7. Go to print. Perfect.
A lone tear rolls down Mark Poole's face. Yeah, and then he has like a wad of hundreds and he starts patting his eyes with it. He'll be fine. Anyway, Gas Guzzler, 2-1 for 1. Start your engines, enters tap to max speed, sack another creature or vehicle, draw a card. There's already a creature who does this exact thing, except without waiting 4 turns of damaging your opponent 4 and not entering tapped. In Commander, we are always looking for duplicates, but this is a pretty bad one.
Well, you won't see it on this because this is the standard art, but there's also the variant tier you could look at on this website, and this set got to it before Secret Lair did. I'll put it that way. The art for this set in the variants is just bananas mode.
I'm looking. Nice.
Results may vary.
Dude, Ratfink. We got some Ratfink art. Look at this shit.
Yeah, Freaks from the 90s. And go down to Curse Cloth Wrappings, though. We got some quality art.
This is This is disgusting. Look, Yu-Gi-Oh ass fucking Japanese card game. Gross.
Oh, and there's the MtG ass crack meme with Marshall's
Yeah,
Path Cruiser.
the ass crack guy. I remember that. Damn, this looks terrible.
Yeah, Secret Lair quality now in
You got the
standard
Tron cycles. You got normal girl.
That Ketra Mouse.
Oh, how nice!
the
Look
new
at Chandra's
Twin looks like a
Ignition. This
new
is
card
fun. It looks halfway between a pencil test for animation and a picture. Interesting style there.
I do like that.
And then this gaudy, ugly thing. Cool. Pretty stylistic. Oh,
Animate
sick.
loot. There he is.
Yo, Chun Lo looking kind of nice. Another loot done in cyberpunk style, right? Like 100% cyberpunk.
Hey boss, should we just print and release all the art people submitted?
Dude,
for
look
this
at
set?
look at Coladin over here. Straight out of Robot Jocks, 1982.
Let's say LeVar Burton eating good.
Yeah. Trying to make it kind of look like a picture, you know.
Wide shark.
Wide sharking. Yeah, this thing, they're all over the place between stuff that looks great, stuff that looks horrible, stuff that's clearly referencing hot rod culture, Ratfink stuff, but is like gross, and I don't like the art style, but I get the reference, so fair enough, right? When will I scroll into seeing the Akira slide because they can't not put it in?
I was gonna say you missed that Chandra Spark Hunter. That looks like somebody posted it on their like Deviant Art profile.
This is a real ugly Chrome Mox. Holy! Look at this.
AI Etsy ass proxy.
Yeah, AI
art
Etsy ass
shit.
proxy ass.
That Lord of the
Yu-Gi-Oh
End
card from
looked
2004.
pretty rad.
I shouldn't say that because AI has been trained on artists, and so really it's their style. So it's kind of unfair.
Yeah, it's the artist's fault.
Yeah, it's not really. We're missing Twitch chat. Oh, true. I should put that up. Hey, good point. I forgot about that. Boom.
Curse cloth wrapping got me. Ugh.
Diversion unit. 2-1 for 2. Flying. Sack this creature. Counter instant sorcery unless. Yeah, Transit Mage is a good one. That's a nice one to see.
Every once in a while, when you see the word zombie, stop and see what they're eating now these days. How are zombies eating?
1-2 for 3. Start your engines. When it enters, create a zombie. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you get. Okay, yeah. Aristocrat zombie, number 7000. This one's in 2 colors. Oh, but it's only max speed, yeah. Bad. Maybe not bad. Aristocrats are pretty easy at causing opponents to lose life.
Probably a bad first example, but there are good ones sprinkled.
It just so
through
happens
space.
the first one I saw wasn't very good.
It's an uncommon. What do you expect?
Each creature card in your hand has cycling 2. Funny.
Hey, your cycling deck just perked up.
No. I don't want to
Oh
pay.
yeah, creature already has cycling.
Already has it. Use your cycling with intention. And also paying 2 to cycle. Too much. I want to pay 1. When this creature enters, draw cards equal to the number of zombies you control, or the number of zombie cards in your graveyard, whichever is greater. Ooh. Like 5 is more than I want, you know? wish it was 4, but yeah, this is Prophet of the Scarab. That one's looking kind of nice. Blue Zombies is kind of an archetype a little bit here and there.
I mean, the Scarab God. That's a great zombie.
Yeah. In each end step, put X1 encounters on each creature control or X the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. That could be decent. That could be good. Maybe not super. Lost Monarch of Ifnir. Afflict 3. Other zombies you control have afflict 3. Beginning your second main if a player was dealt combat damage. No 3 then your turn. Okay. Just a way to have your guys be kind of unblockable. I mean, not really, but kind of. Opponent takes damage anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like either do you want to block my 1/1 zombie or take 3 damage.
Fucking Instagram-ass Corgos all over Magic cards nowadays.
They're cute.
Yeah. Oh, Regenerate? We're bringing it back? Is this the first legitimate Regenerate in Standard in a long time? I knew the player they could handle it. I knew they could handle Regenerate.
I knew they could handle an outdated mechanic that has no business being in this game.
Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield for 4. If it's a vehicle, it becomes an artifact. Demonic Junker.
Nice.
4/3 for 7 affinity, so 1. When it enters for each player, choose up to 1 target creature that player controls. If it... Oh, destroy, okay. Neat, yeah, kind of good.
A 1 black to snipe 2 or 3 creatures?
I mean, you very have to be in an artifact for deck to cost 1 black, right? But still...
Oh, sure, my Esper Urza deck is rubbing its hands together.
Yeah, no, I like it. Demonic Junker, good card. It's a pity that it's not a creature, instead it's a vehicle, but maybe that's not a pity depending on how you build your deck. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's
good
card.
card.
Too.
Good card, could go in. Sort of off topic, but what does HeyWoah think of the mystical archive art of Faceless Looting? Let me look it up.
If you didn't get it in a random book, then it's a 50-50.
Oh, it's this one. It's this one. Just terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm not a fan of that one either.
Like, really bad and gross. Awful work. But the artist, Carly Mazua, something like that, I've seen her other work, and some of it I really like. This is just a huge failure, that's all. Like, this is just awful. But it's not like she's a bad artist or anything. I've seen her other stuff, and sometimes it's good. It's just that one's very bad. Super dumb. The dots over the eyes, the photographic quality of it, juxtaposed against the harsh, just super flat colors, just looks awful. But I've seen her other stuff, and some of it's quite nice. Yeah, for like a Magic player, sometimes it's a good choice to tilt your opponent because it's so ugly, you know? Like, you choose art that no one could like, and you only pretend to like it, right? To, like, tilt your opponent or something like that. So it's a good one for that, I guess.
As long as you don't get tilted when the other person says your art is ugly.
yeah.
Then you just
have to be
blame
careful
yourself.
about that, because sometimes you get a card and you're like, this is going to tilt my opponents, but then you've bought expensive, ugly art on purpose, and then people start to make fun of you. Well, not make fun of you, but be like, damn, you live like this? You spent that for that awful thing? Don't get yourself triggered by your own choice. You know, sometimes that does happen. Wow, okay.
We need more cards with loot in a cage being threatened.
That League of Legends ass, plushy ass Fucking... What are those stupid big head wastes of money figurines that...
Funko Pop?
Yeah, Funko Pops, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see the loot.
It looks like a League of Legends Funko Pop. It's the ugliest thing. Holy.
No loot Funko Pop yet, but you know it's coming.
I mean, it was designed for that purpose. Like, that's one of the things that I kind of don't like about it, is that it was so obviously designed with that in purpose, right?
See, people
But
say
it was
League
pushed.
of
It
Legends,
was pushed
I think,
too
off that
hard.
Initial art. What it really reminds me of is late '90s, early 2000s, desperate to make a Star Wars toy art.
Yeah.
Where like the prequels and the extended universe weren't quite hitting, so we're just trying to make any old toy about anything. Glup shitto ass looking toy.
Glup shitto. What is the other? Cho Gartho.
Zibulba.
He looks so weird in the magic art style. Weirdly looks better in the Secret Lair Pokemon art style, perhaps.
Oh, he looks so much better when he's like arted up. That Perilous Snare art is just bad.
Curse Cloth Wrapping. Zombies get big. Target creature in your graveyard gains Embalm. And then you pay.
Welcome back to Amonkhet.
Comes back as a 4/4. Okay, we're getting some Amonkhet stuff in here.
Yeah, one of the spoiler parts of the video was each of the planes you visit in Aether Drift is going to get one of their random mechanics back in.
Oh yeah, because it's
like
yeah, you're stopping in the Kettle Run or whatever in parsecs, and you're going from one to the other.
and all the other parts of Fortnite.
And Hat Planet and Toontown. And Warner Brothers Studios, California.
Yeah, a California adventure.
Exhaust abilities of other permanents you control cost 2 less to activate. Okay. Oh, finally a Thopter Tribal. Let's go.
Finally, look at that decently healthy Thopter.
Yeah, but a Thopter Tribal that would ever attack, right?
Oh, true.
Etheric Amplifier. Artifact for 3. We'll keep scrolling. Adaptive Omni Tool. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each artifact you control. Oh, okay. Cranial Plating.
You know that.
Except toughness as well.
Amplifier will go great in your Millennium Calendar meme deck.
Yeah.
With double counter, you get to do double counter each turn. I've actually lost to a Millennium Calendar in Standard. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it can happen. Whenever equipped creature attacks with the top 6, you may reveal an artifact, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom. I like this card. Adaptive Omni Tool, this is a real card. In a certain type of artifact deck, you could really make use of this thing. Good work. Double purpose too, dual purpose.
When somebody in chat
Like an
actually
Imskeer
reminded me
immediately.
that a couple people earlier got the card you were thinking of. It was Trick Bind. It's the split second counter target activated and triggered ability.
Yeah, I did read it. I did see it.
And of course, it got its own Slimer treatment for their secret lair.
I remember him, High C, Ecto Cooler. When this vehicle enters, search the library for a basic land, put it in your hand, then exhaust 5. Man, we're a far cry from Golos, aren't we?
Rip Golos.
Oh, March of the World Ooze. Okay, funny card. Okay, fun. Creatures in control have base power and toughness 6/6 and are oozes. I like it in a Field of the Dead deck, you know? And whenever an opponent casts a spell, if it's not their turn, you make a 3/3, but really a 6/6 elephant. Reminds me of, what's that green-white creature for 2 from a million years ago? People used to play it in Standard. that if opponent plays a spell during your turn, it makes another token. Card was actually really good. I played it. Good against control. I can't remember the name of it, but it exists and it was kind of good, and it seems like a callback here. Anyway, March of the Worldoos. I like this card. This is a possible fun little Timmy addition to some token deck. You know, to some Jetnir thing maybe. This is a noteworthy card from the set.
Green spells that you throw down, and now the table's looking at it like, should I be afraid of that? Should I do something about that?
I suppose triple green is maybe a bit of an issue, but I was expecting more than 6 to pay for this thing. 6 is pretty aggressively costed, I think. You want them to reprint Opalescence into Standard? Yeah, but it would have to be with a non-magic card back, and it just has all of the Oracle text and rulings on the back. So they could play it properly.
It'd be like putting Animate Dead back into Standard.
Putting Ice Cauldron back into Standard.
Cowards.
Defend the Rida. Target permanent you control gains hexproof indestructible. Nice, another one of these for 1. That's good. Specifically hexproof and indestructible for one thing. For 1 instant. I know there's already 1 of those. Possibly 2 that's a green X spell one, but I think that one's... I can't remember. Anyway, this is like possible introduction into certain commander decks.
Man, I can't wait to see the moment somebody chooses to make a 1/1 pilot token instead.
I mean, in green, probably not. But it's neat that you could do something else with it. That's all right.
Isn't Delighted Halfling 1 green?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Man, the options you have in green.
The options. This thing's kind of neat. Enters, make a 3/3, and whenever it attacks while saddled, make a 3/3. But saddle 5 is a lot. So no. Mindspring Merfolk. Exhaust, draw X cards. Little brain geyser on this stick. Well, not really on a stick. A one-time stick. Put a 1/1 counter on each Merfolk creature control, but not X counters. Okay. Look at what 1/1s for 1/2 nowadays. Not exactly an ailing leprechaun over here.
Dude, Momentum Breaker. My men who are playing hand hate decks on Arena are about to go wild for that card.
When it enters, each opponent sacks a creature or vehicle of their choice. Each opponent who can't discards a card, and you can sack it to gain life equal to your speed, which is like whatever. That could matter. And it speeds up. Cool, yeah. Cool, like standard card. Thopter Fabricator is kind of cool. I wish it was unbound instead of bound down to the second. It is each turn, kind of neat. Count on Luck. Oh, is this Phyrexian Arena but for red? How bad will it be? Triple red, unusable in anything but mono red. Are a good start already. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. What a piece of shit. What a garbage card. What a garbage card for a garbage color. Holy man, red used to be good.
Now see what they gave red on the next card.
Absolutely disgusting. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power for drawing cards. Literally every other color at this point.
CJ's Neheb deck is about to eat with this next card.
Oh, I've seen Full Throttle. Really good LucasArts point-and-click adventure game. After this main phase, there are 2 additional combat phases for 6. Beginning of each combat this turn, untap all creatures that attacked this turn. My favorite part about this card, Full Throttle. Okay, 2 additional combat phases, right? Here's a quote from Chandra Nalar. You wanted a fight, now you've got 2. Chandra can't fucking count. Okay, 2 + 1 is 3. Good attention to detail. The mono red
And
planeswalker
you're
can't
right.
count to fucking 3.
Because you get 3 combat phases for 6.
Yes, you do. But you wanted to fight. Now you've got 2. Plus 1, I guess.
Well, the third fight is with loot in the art, so I guess you ain't counting that one.
Dumb.
No, the next one is dumb. It's a goddamn swordfish man.
He's a swordfish. He's a swashbuckler. Fish pirate. Vehicles have haste. He has haste whenever you attack. If a pirate and a vehicle attack this combat, draw 3, discard 2. Okay. That's going to be really hard for Commander, but I don't know. A pirate and a vehicle. Enters Scry 1. Taps 3 other untapped creatures control until in turn the vehicle becomes an artifact creature against flying. Put a 1 counter on it. Crew 1. Kind of interesting. Oh, Commander. Sam Moot, the Driving Force. She costs 6. It's bad. All right. Marauding Mako. Whenever you discard 1 or more, put 1. Okay.
Swiftly moving on.
Chandra's Ignition. Oh, cool. We got new Chandra's Ignition artwork. That's great. Chandra's Ignition, actually a pretty good card. A win con in several red decks for sure.
It does look really super.
Yeah, nice artwork. Good work. Nice win con.
This next card, if you get bored in Glarb and you just want to make something gigantic.
Market back Walker. Double X. Enters with X1 counters. Put a 1 counter on it. Man, I'm getting a lot of... when this dies, draw a card for each one. Oh, but it doesn't kill itself. So you have to sack it some other way. It does draw a lot of cards, though. Yeah. Reminiscent to Walking Barista, you know, instead of being the best creature-based infinite mana win condition, it gets huge and then needs some other card to sacrifice it, and then you do indeed draw a lot of cards. Yeah. You could maybe play this in some stuff, for sure, I think. You could maybe play this in some stuff. Sacrifice-based decks, obviously, mostly. Both sacrifice and big mana, which do often overlap because it's like black-green X. It's yet another 0 mana cost creature to play with with the God of the Harvest, right? GD Panda, thanks to the GD and the Panda. 46 months. We got a NASCAR crossover now. Very specifically, no. I've seen no NASCAR. I'm looking at a lot of Akira. I'm looking at a lot of Redline. I'm looking at a lot of Tron, as in like the movie Tron, not the Magic Tron. I'm looking at a lot of Mad Max, a lot of fucking anime. I'm not seeing a lot of NASCAR. Actually, a lot of Speed Racer, kinda.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart, overtly.
Literal blue shell creature
Yeah.
and a guy in red overalls with a wrench. That's just embarrassing.
Hold on, does the blue shell win you the game if you're losing? Just like its mechanic is meant to be?
No, but it does. When it comes in, it bounces a creature back to your opponent's hand, which I golf clapped. That was a decent flavor.
No, it does.
And
Yeah,
it reduces speed.
if their speed is the greatest speed, i.e. they're in first place, it puts them back. Yeah, okay. So the flavorfully, Mel-wise, it makes the person in first place slower, and it bounces something, right? So it does do the thing. It does the thing that the mechanic from Mario Kart did. So it do that. Yeah, all right. Good work, I guess. Or was I Ketramose?
Yeah,
The
you
new
were
Dawn.
Ketramose.
Legend. Ooh, Commander, maybe. Menace, lifelink, indestructible. I see an indestructible god that's not an enchantment, so I bet it can't attack or block unless something... 7 or more cards in exile. You could do that. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. 1 or more, kind of sad, but you could set up a million iterations if you want. There's plenty of ways to
Put
do
rest
that.
in peace on the board.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
I like this one because some of the other ones, actually most of the other ones, the condition is interactable. So like, remember, what is it, Kefnet or something? The mono blue one is if you have 7 or more cards in hand. The green one is if you have a big creature out, which means a board state, which means if they kill that, then it can't attack or block. The red one, I think, is like no cards in hand or a few. But this white-black one, you just, as long as those cards are still be exiled, right? So
yeah,
you always have access to that thing, which is cool. And yeah, somebody mentioned you can use it with Necropotence. Technically, you're putting each of those cards into your hand independently.
You finally cracked Necropotence.
You finally cracked Necropotence, yeah.
Would adventure cards work with that as well?
No, because you're
go on exile after they're cast for the adventure one.
No, you cast them as an adventure, and then it exiles from the stack. I don't think it goes to the graveyard. I think it's a replacement. I think.
No, that makes sense.
Our victory, when it enters, create a 2/2 black, and then
Demonic Tutor?
Just Demonic Tutor, but you have to wait 4 turns
Sorcery.
and do some shit. Okay. See Buzdo, thanks to the tier 1, the Sue the Thief. Appreciate the gift.
Oh, good snipe, CJ.
Draco Nautics Engineer. Volcano Math new surname detected. Once a game, creatures are haste. Once a game, make a dino. Yeah, okay,
whatever. We're starting to approach a lot of, we're going to just see this in standard.
Okay, let's talk about Sab Sunan. Luxa embodied.
Lady.
Big frog lady. Huge.
And don't forget Mosasaurus Rex next to him.
6/6 for 5. Reach, trample, indestructible. I like all those things. Reach, indestructible. I like that in Commander. Nice blocker. Pretty reasonably costed. Can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. 0 is even. So you play it, and for 1 turn you have an excellent blocker. I've seen this one already. And it sets you up for next turn to be a big turn. Because you get to draw 2 extra cards on your very next turn.
And if you want to stick to even or odd, you just put a doubling effect.
No.
Hardened scales on the field, and then it just immediately goes back to even, back to even, back to even.
Yeah, and if you want to build around her or have her be your commander, sure. I was thinking just tossing her in Glarb or something, like into a...
Oh yeah, she's
just throwing her into some deck that can technically play her. I really like the idea of, alright, you're curving out into 5. You play one of the better blockers ever. Play some awesome blocker. Next turn, untap. Draw 3 cards total for your turn, and now you're ready for some big turn. Yeah, she can't block on the next turn, but you've just drawn 3, so you can do something. And if it sticks around every other turn, you can block with it. I actually like her as a random good stuff, slightly defensive, but also draws you cards addition. I might try her out in Glarb.
Yeah, I think she's really super.
Is this the sexy frog Vince was talking about? Oh, I didn't see that show, but I highly doubt we're going to find another 50-foot tall sexy frog woman. Yeah. I like her. I don't like her as a commander because blue-green commanders are so insane that, like, I don't know. You could pick almost anything.
If you want a Simic commander that's not bananas.
Damn, how will I find a Simic commander that's good? It's so hard.
Yeah, if you want to play a not insane Simic commander, I guess you could play her. She's still not bad.
No, she's actually great. If it wasn't green blue and was instead like red white, it would be the best red white commander ever printed in the whole game. But you know what?
That's Simic.
No, red white. You know what they need? A 7,000th fucking artifact equipment commander. That's what they need.
Oh, they need another taps makes white soldier token.
Yeah. Agonosaur Rex. 8/8 trample for 5.
Go back to 93 and show somebody that shit.
Well, yeah, I saw this thing and I'm like, man, Spirit Monger is rolling in his grave. Who caused Juzum Jin to roll in his grave. It was like, back in the day, you see a 6/6 for 5 with no downsides, and your brain explodes, and then show him this. Also cycling. Also, when you cycle it, put 2 encounters on a creature or vehicle to gain trample and indestructible. Kind of uncounterable way to give something indestructible for a turn. Kind of neat.
That's why you run 1 stifle.
I mean, I don't know that I'd stifle this, but I could see a situation where I might stifle that. I just think it's funny that we're up to 8/8 tramples for 5. And you know what?
With cycling.
Look, we just made fun of how power crept this card is. And we were right to do it, and it was fun. This card sucks. So, think about that.
In some certain archetypes of decks, but yeah, overall, it's not like throw it in every green deck.
You can exist in 2 places at once, I guess.
True.
Fest. Bloodghast reprint, cool.
Yeah,
Repurposing
Bay. Let me find out the last time Bloodghast was printed.
Some Modern Masters thing, maybe, or I can't remember. Repurposing Bay. Second of the artifacts. Oh, cool. Breeding pool for artifacts. Nice. It costs 5 total to play it and activate it instead of 4 total, which is unfortunate. They're afraid.
Snuck into Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
They're afraid.
Zendikar.
Bloodghast was in the Vampire Pre-Con last year. Okay. I don't keep up with Standard. Anyway, Repurposing Bay is great. I really like it. I'm sad that the whole thing costs 5 instead of the whole thing costing 4, like Breeding Pool. But good work.
But artifacts don't need no help.
I like the art as well.
Hazoret from the top rope. She's back.
Hazoret Goat Seeker. Birthing Pod? Yeah, so Birthing Pod's an artifact for 4, but it's got Phyrexian mana on it. And then you can climb the ladder with creatures.
It's kind of a busted card.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. It's like a modern power level card. You said Breeding Pool? Oh, I thought I said Birthing Pod. I meant Birthing Pod.
That is a Simic land.
Yeah. Maybe I misspoke.
Also a good card.
Hazoret Godseeker. Indestructible Haste Starter Engines 5/3 for 2. Our creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. That's alright. Can't attack or block unless you have maximum speed. So she's very slow. But
she has haste.
Well, she has haste so she can tap to use the thing to make somebody else
That's
not
true.
be able
And I
to
guess
block.
if you're max speed when she drops, then she's also...
This is like a decent card actually, because the reason Starter Engine sucks is because you have to cause your opponent to lose life 4 turns in a row, right? Which is like winning the game. Like you have to constantly be winning, sorta. What's cool about this one is that her ability on her card helps you cause Start Your Engines to work, right? Because the creature can't be blocked. So on the very card that cares about dealing damage, it helps you deal damage, which is kind of nice.
Man, that Chrome Mox art, that is something special.
Yeah, it looks horrible. But I have a soft spot in my heart for Chrome Mox. I've always liked Chrome Mox.
Well, Gear Hulk.
Starter Engines will work with multiple cards with Starter Engines, though. Yeah, so I'm looking at this mostly from a commander perspective, where Starter Engines is going to be generally awful or slow. If you're building a Starter Engines deck for Standard or something, mostly disregard half the stuff I'm saying.
Yeah, if you build your deck around Start Your Engines, it'll probably work decently fine. If you want to add one card that says start your engines, you're waiting 4 turns, and you might not see that card in your 99.
Oil Deep Gearhawk. 4/4/4. Lifelink Ward 1. When it enters, look at the target opponent's hand. You can choose a card from it. If you do, the player discards it, then draws a card. Trash. Pyrewood Gearhawk. Yo, he costs 6? Ew. I wanted to keep it to 4/4s for 4. Come on. 7/7 Vigilance Menace. When this creature enters, other creatures you control get 2/2 and gain Vigilance and Menace. Damage can't be prevented is decent, yeah. I was about to say the Crater Hoof we have at home, right?
Vigi Menace is pretty nice.
Yeah, Vigilance means that you don't have to necessarily use it as a big finisher. You can actually just play it and not get punished too hard. And damage can't be prevented is pretty good against stuff like Teferi, right? I don't know that you would like play it, but there's enough words printed here that I could see you playing it in a certain tier of deck.
It seems like they tried to give green a lot of artifacts in this set.
Yeah, because they typically haven't, you know. Oh yeah, Wayward Alva. Limited? if you're playing draft, this shit rocks.
Oh yeah. If
Pyrewood Gearhawk, all my guys have Menace and Vigilance and to get them. Just get them.
I'm going to play a bunch of 1/1 green and red creatures and ramp. So the second I find this dude, just slamming home.
Yeah. It's great around Glacial Chasm, it's great around Obscuring Haze, it's great around Spore Frog, it's great around Teferi's Protection. Yeah. Making sure the damage can't be prevented is often very hard to find on a card that's good otherwise for a aggro-y sort of commander deck.
Those words have been popping up a lot
yeah,
lately.
Yeah.
It's because of that damn One Ring.
Oh, the One Ring as well, true. Which is definitely playable in your pods. Glacial Chasm is very playable. You don't necessarily have to always pair it with crop rotation, but I certainly do.
All true degenerates too. Oh, they did another meme, giant white vehicle.
Yeah, what was the other one? Parhelion 2 or something like that?
Parhelion the 4th that makes angels and shit. Yeah, for 19 mana.
Flying First Strike, Lifelink, 7/7 for 7. Cycling 3. Okay, so it's Decree of Justice. Yeah, Decree of Justice where you cycle it for 3x and you get X soldiers, except now they're pilots. And they crew stuff. I mean, this would go in like maybe, I don't know. You would I think you would just put this in some vehicle commander, right? You would just kind of throw it in.
This is if you're running a vehicle deck that has white.
Yeah, what's that blue-white guy that you play? Draw a discard, make a pilot.
Shoryukai?
Yeah, Shoryukai. Just throw it in, Shoryukai.
I play that commander wrong. He is not a vehicle commander.
Well, I know he's not. He's actually a
card draw.
He's a card draw
monster.
Yeah, he's a card draw removal monster control guy, but
yeah, black, white, red. Yeah. What's her face? The one from Kamigawa.
Oh yeah, the Boros vehicles is big. They got the dwarfs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Boros energy and vehicles.
Hull Drifter. I love Mull Drifter. I even like Null Drifter, even though it's much worse. And I was so happy to see a Hull Drifter. Right now we got a vehicle, and I'm gonna go on a soapbox here and talk about how much this card annoys me.
Here we go.
Okay, Hull Drifter. It costs 5. That's correct. The whole point of Mull Drifters as an archetype is that they cost a lot, and they enter and draw you 2 cards, or you can pay 3 to get them one time, but then they die, right? But you can draw 2 for 3 temporarily, or 5 and keep it around. That's the whole point of what a Mull Drifter is. And Null Drifter, which they made after Mull Drifter, follows these rules. Even though it's an Eldrazi with Devoid, it's not devoid of the respect that the Mull Drifter archetype deserves. Now we have Hull Drifter. It enters and draws 2 cards. That's correct. For 5, good work. Where is the 3 mana version to draw 2 cards? It's not here. Fake all drifter, not my drifter. Complete failure, trash, an insult to my people.
Why they wouldn't include that text? Like, is there a reason you could think of why they avoided it? If they avoided it.
They needed to put the reminder text for crew in there, and so there was no room.
No way. I mean, literally the card before it has crew 3 because they jammed a bunch of random bullshit in there.
Yeah, maybe they don't want Evoke to be in this set or something, but this is disgusting. Yeah, just don't do it then. Just don't do it then. Put in a different card. It evokes disgust. True. Lord of the Undead. Others. Oh yeah, Lord of the Undead.
Oh, that
We're bringing them back.
Sick. I love that art.
You got some fucking Judge Dredd looking ass art in there. And then we have a bunch of multicolor commanders that I was excited for when I saw their mana cost and colors, and then I read the text box and became depressed.
Imagine energy.
Can we have one good Tamir commander ever? The answer is fucking no, apparently. Stupid energy, boo. Stupid energy, boo.
Is the best Tamir commander. The Tyrannid lady, who taps and doubles your X spells.
Yeah, and there's what's his name, the super old one for 5 that can lets you tutor when you cast a creature and stuff. Multiple choice guy. I just want a Tamir commander for 3 that draws me a card every turn somehow. Is that too much to ask?
How dare you?
Fuck you. And then Hashaton Scarab's Fist. Mr. CEDH himself, possibly. I don't play CEDH, but this guy looks like he might cut the jib.
Look at the thickness on this guy.
He costs 2. You love to see it. He's in all 3 Esper colors. You love to see it.
All 3.
Whenever you discard a creature, you can pay 3. If you do, make a token of that. There's all sorts of combos you can do with this, from pure value to win. His price is right. His colors are right. All of it works off. You could have a whole ass combo that only ever works off of like triggered and activated abilities. You love to see it. This guy's super good.
Thank God he is not standard legal. This dude would be so scary.
I mean, maybe. It depends on how much discard outlets you have in Standard. I'm not sure. But in Commander, this guy's Hashathon.
Literally just play the wrong colors and put Atraxa Unified Will in the deck, discard it, and pay 3 and you have 4 for Atraxa. Cool, thanks.
Oh, wait. They do have cycling in this set, don't they? Yeah, cycling is kind of good. Hey, where my Fluctuator boys at? We gotta start fluctuating.
Big flux in chat.
Hey, Flubs is cool. Flubs is a very interesting thought experiment and puzzle to solve. I wouldn't say it's like a commander I'm interested in playing, but it's a cool like puzzle to solve. I'm happy Flubs exists, I think.
The world's better for it.
That movie Tenet that I never watched. Nak Tuman's Will. 4/4 for 5. Vigilance Menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard. Whenever you draw a card, zombies get big temporarily. Trash.
Hey, were you looking for that zombie discard outlet?
Yeah, but I was looking for a good one, so.
Oh, God.
Garbo, man. Alright, I got some Cloud Cycles.
You can play that one card that you discard your whole hand.
One with nothing. Yeah, if you have 27 mana, you can cast all of, or you can make copies of all 7 of them. I mean 21. I don't know why I said 27. Look at this dude. Look at this dude here. Polo Din Triumph Caster. 2/3 for 2. Mounts and vehicles have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled immediately. Whenever a vehicle enters, it becomes an artifact creature immediately.
Oh, fun detective. I like this guy.
Only that turn, but still, it's, you know, that's haste. Let's slap him out. Red-white. If you were playing a red-white commander specifically around vehicles, I guess this opens you up to being able to put mounts in as well. I don't know.
This looks like a very fun beginner commander right
here. Yeah, this is
you
like
a vehicles. Does that look cool? Play this guy.
Yeah, this is sort of like, hey, your first commander deck. You can play this guy in, like a tier 1 commander deck.
Oh god, I cannot wait until Tears. I can't wait.
I can't wait until Tears. Please tell me. I can't wait for Arcane Signet to be tier 2 because it was a mistake.
Oh man, she boosted my sloop. Look at this guy.
The sloop boosters? Hey chat, do we have any sloop boosters in the chat?
Did she ever sloop that boost?
She's slooping the boo until I boost. Oh my god, this is a great name. I don't even care if this card sucks. This is a wonderful card name. The Boost Slooper.
Now, does it do anything fun to justify actually running it?
It's a 3/3 for 3 with Menace. Whenever you attack, draw a card, discard, crew 1. I mean, it's like a it's like a Thopter. What was that Thopter array thing? The 3/3 for 2. It's like that thing. It was really good for a while. It was really good because it was cost 2 and it didn't have any color to it. I can't remember what the name of it was offhand, but it kind of took over standard for a little while, a long time ago. The Sloop Head. What are the tiers? Tell me. You were supposed to tell me in Las Vegas last year.
Months ago.
Captain Howla. C. Scowla. 5/4 for 4. Ward 2. Pay 2 life. And also pay 2 life. When you discard one or more cards, target creature gets 2/0 for each card discarded this way. Whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw the card. Bad.
Yeah. I like that they couldn't decide if it was Ward 2 or pay 2 life, so they just slapped it on them.
Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, which is once per game, by the way, make a single 1/1 colorless Thopter. Okay?
Yeah, so if your whole deck is made out of exhaust cards, you'll get some value out of that.
Sita Varma. 2/2 exhaust, pay 1,000,000 and put 1,000,000 counters on her, and then all of your creatures become fucking huge. It's funny, like, there's a bunch of, like, green, blue, it's like Simic, green, blue, X, all creatures have base power and toughness, X, and so there's a bunch of cards like that. This is just another one. It happens to be a creature. If you're already playing any of those, which you probably aren't, then maybe you want another one, I'm not sure.
If you want to win slowly in a Simic deck, I guess, play Sita Varma.
Well, on the particular turn, it won't be slow, but yeah. Atch Kick, Emerald Radian, 3/3 for 6. When it enters, create an insect for each artifact or creature card in your graveyard, and then another insect dies, put a 1 counter on it, and then also each opponent loses life. No, you could. This is part of an infinite chain, probably, if you win, yeah, whatever.
Oh, I already found the dumbest way possible to make this cool, which is you peer into the abyss yourself.
Yeah.
And discard like a shit-zillion creatures, and then next turn, Rise of the Dark Realm.
Yeah, I mean, you can always do something like that. Crypt Caller Chariot, 5/5 for 4 menace. Whenever you discard one or more cards, create that many zombies that are tapped. Oh, that's good. Yeah, this card's good.
Tapped zombies is kind of a sad phase.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of zombie tokens enter tapped, sure. 4 is maybe more than I want to pay for this effect, but I appreciate that it's at least, for once, I'm happy it's not a creature, because you kind of want this as a pseudo enchantment.
And the tapped, I'll take tapped black zombie over the anytime it's like a 2/2 decayed zombie.
Yeah,
Decayed
yeah,
zombie.
or finality counters or some absolute no fun allowed
I ain't no
bullshit.
accountant.
Yeah, yeah. Crypt Color. This is a card. You could play this card. Bazri. 2/1 for 1. Exert it to make a cat with lifelink. You can also cycle it, and then also when you cycle it, cats get hexproof and destroyed. Okay. In your cat tribal, you now have another hero's intervention or whatever.
Loot's exhaust abilities are 3 of the power 9, and this guy's is make a cat token.
It costs 1. He's a Savannah Lions with 3 paragraphs of text on. Zahur, Glorious Path. Look how big he is. Look at the foreshortening on this. His arm is going all the way back into the center of the moon to throw the spear at you. That shit's funny.
He's pulling back all the way to the prehistoric era.
Dude, he's pulling it back. The spear's like bending in the middle. This is funny art.
Oh, click on it to see the alt art, which is like some WB Kids morning hour.
Ew, this is the card treatment?
Bitch, you live like this?
This is the special card treatment for this set.
Yes, apparently it's more gold than yellow. I've seen some video of where they show it. It certainly doesn't look that neon hideous.
It's just blinded by piss was what they wanted for the card treatment.
Realm, the pit.
You've entered the plane of piss. Cool. Yeah, what they are clearly trying to evoke, Femonk says, is true. The old racing magazines.
Yeah, for your...
That's the intention.
For an audience that hasn't seen them,
the National Geographic border, yeah. Sack another creature, surveil 1, activate only once each turn. Trash. No fun allowed. Get out of here. Man, what an awful card. Activate only once each turn.
Truly embarrassing.
Put this card in your deck only 0 times each turn. Lagarin. Soul of Alacria. 1/1 for 2 flying. If it attacks while saddled, 1 counter on each of up to 2 target mounts or bit trash. Okay, just some crap. It's weird that it's a legend, and so conceivably it maybe is 4 commander, but it's like so bad. That's weird.
That little Bulwark Ox isn't terrible for 2 mana.
What do you do?
Sack creatures you control with counters on them gain hexproof indestructible. There's a place for that in counters decks.
And it only settles for 1. You do have to be in...
You have to be in an archetype.
You do have to be in a pretty specific archetype, maybe. I still like spells, like instants and stuff, but... It feeds what your deck is about, right? It gives you those 1/1 counters, which is sometimes the difficult part. So, yeah, I think it does. It's clearly made for, but possibly does belong in such an archetype.
It might not be bad in my Treebeard deck, honestly. A little 2 mana protect Treebeard.
Yeah, I mean, you care about 1/1 counters, kind of. Right? It's not evoking like Hull Drifter, yeah. Caradora, Heart of Alacria. 4/2 for 4. When she enters, you may search your library for a mount or vehicle, reveal it, put it in your hand. 1 or more 1 encounters will be put on a creature or vehicle +1. Okay. What a meeting of the minds. We're merging 1/1 counters and vehicle / mount stuff. Green-white. Green has a lot of good, like, saddle stuff, unironically.
Yeah, that
and white has, like,
is
half of the
pretty
vehicles.
nice.
And it at least tutors for something.
Oh yeah, the Verge lands are in here. The Verge lands are sick. Best land cycle since Battle Bond life cycle, or land cycle.
The Urge to Verge? On the verge of splurge. Oh yeah, these.
Untapped.
Oh good, yeah.
Colored mana.
Great. These are great. Finishing this land cycle was so important. Great work.
Now do the reverse of each one for maximum.
If like 0 other cards in all of the set were printed for Commander, I would still just be happy that these come out.
I'm buying at least
these are great
one of each.
Great for mana bases, yeah.
It's the best. For 2-color decks, it's the absolute best land.
Yeah. I'm thinking, like, what was the last really good land cycle for Commander? Was the enters as long as you have 2 or more opponents, right? Are those the Battlebound ones?
Yeah.
The 2 or more opponent ones? Yeah, those were super good for Commander. The best ones since those were Triomes. And the best ones since those were the untapped as long as you control 2 or more other lands. Because those are really good, and they're underrated by good players.
Or if you're in Standard, it's 2 or less lands. That's the good ones.
Yeah, I hate those though. I mean, for Commander, right? Like.
Oh yeah, they're terrible Commander. Yeah. Pull that shit turn 10. You want to hang yourself.
Well, what percentage of the game is turn 1 or 2? Like the smallest percentage of the game, right? So the cards enter tap the most. And before those, the Rav duels, and before those, the fetches, and before those, the real duels.
That Rocketeer boost bussy.
The Rocketeer boost bussy boy. The Boom Mobile. Rocketeer boost bussy. This fucking card.
Rocketeer boost slooper.
Damn. 3/2 for 2. Whenever this vehicle attacks, create a treasure token. You love to see it. Becomes an artifact creature for 3, and then you put a counter on it. Crew 1. This is like alright. Yeah, this is alright. I don't know if it's a command. I don't think it's a commander card, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing some kind of.
This is the kind of card that.
Token goblin 1/1. You just put a 1/1 goblin in it. Now it's a 3/2 making you treasures. It's not the worst.
This is the kind of card you might play in Standard. I don't know the format, but. Seems decent.
Oh, Standard? It'll see a lot of Standard.
Seems highly decent. What about the Boom Mobile? 5/5 for 4. When this enters, add 4 mana. Ooh. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Ugh. What a roller coaster of emotions I'm having. And then Exhaust is 3x. Deals X to any target. Put 1 counter on this vehicle. Okay. Oh, wait, okay. I saw Exhaust, and for whatever reason in my head it was cycling. It's the boost bussy. It's getting to my brain.
Right here. You play it, you get your mana back, you immediately do the Exhaust, and you ping something for 2.
Yeah.
That's probably what you're doing here.
Okay, when in my head, when the Alzheimer's was taking over and I thought it was cycling, I was about to say this card's amazing. Ish. It's like uncounterable X damage, right? But never mind.
Which one's the one that untaps for 4?
What?
What is it? Basalt Monolith is the one that untaps for 4?
Basalt Monolith untaps for 4, and Mana Vault untaps for 4.
I mean, you could drop that and spend it to untap.
Well, you can't because Mana Vault only untaps if you pay that during your upkeep. But Basalt Monolith would work. Yeah. Or no, you're thinking of Grim Monolith.
Grim Monolith.
Yeah, Basalt Monolith.
Negative cards I never play.
Yeah, Grim Mono. Need a red line art for Redshift? True. The Mind Rot has crocked. It's hitting me. Redshift Rocketeer Chief. 2/3 for 2. Another legend. Commander maybe. Add X mana where it's Redshift's power. Spend it only to activate abilities. That's a neat deck idea. And then exhaust 1 million. Put any number of permanents from your hand on the battlefield. Funny.
Oh, so if you make him huge, you could tap him to make his exhaust cheaper.
Yeah, you can do like a raised by giants or something, so he has a 10/10 power naturally.
Hey, anytime a green card says drop all the permanents in your hand onto the battlefield, I'm automatically in love. That
yeah, some Galta except for permanents.
Timmy energy of just like and not just creatures, permanents.
Yeah.
Just dump everything on a...
Redshift, I think, this is a potentially fun actual commander. Like, fun commander, maybe.
I think I might try to make that commander. He's kind of sick.
It's a lower power, right? It's not like a high power commander, but fun.
Only
you know?
fun allowed.
Yeah. It looks fun. Which is good, because I'm seeing a lot of really cheap commanders that are like god-awful, generally. But Redshift looks kind of fun.
Remember fun?
Almost. Way in the distance.
End of pattern. Acknowledge.
Far Fortune End Boss. Borderlands looking ass character. 4/5 for 4. Start your engines. Whenever you attack, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, but not for each creature you're attacking with. Boo. But it does, at least it auto gives you speed, right? Built into the card, it just creates speed as long as you are attacking. That's kind of nice. So max speed. Hopefully your max speed ability is the nut. If a source you control would deal damage, it deals that much +1. Trash. Whole card is trash. Alright, loot.
Here's your boy next.
It's Luet. I hate this character that they've invented, but okay. 2/4 for 5, double strike, Vigi haste. And then either pay 1 to get a Black Lotus. So actually it's more of a Dark Ritual, right? Pay 1 to get Ancestral, which is kind of nice. Or Lightning Bolt. All 3 of those effects are very good in different situations. It has haste, so it can use them right away. It costs 6 total to do it. Yeah, you can only use them once each, but you're putting this in a flicker deck 1000% of the time. I guess it kind of interacts with untap, but I certainly wouldn't put it in an untap mechanic deck. This thing's like a maybe as an alternative Garth kind of thing. Mayhap. I like drawing 3 cards. You know, I don't like paying 5 originally, but...
Now in Standard, he's going to be...
in Standard, do you get to 5 mana before you lose? Can you cast spells that cost 5?
Oh yeah, 5's pretty safe. Standard isn't crazy. There is only a limited pool.
Okay.
I've certainly lost real fast, but it's not like you need to win by turn 4 or go home.
Yeah. Plus he has Vigilance, which is kind of cool. You drop him, swing for 4 immediately. On their turn, you can block first and still tap to do the thing. Double strike, meaning you can hit him for 2 and then Lightning Bolt, and then they're dead in first strike phase, so he can block a 5/5 and not die.
Dude, that's kind of sick. I didn't even think of that.
And
With
of course,
Vigi, too.
obviously drawing 3 cards is kind of like win the game, right? So, yeah.
Speaking
It
of
was
Standard,
cool.
The Last Ride.
If this guy was
definitely
a character that I didn't hate and had different art, I would be probably more excited about him. The Last Ride. Oh, it's what's it called? Not Shadow of Doubt. That stupid ass -13.
Shadow of Mortality.
No, the one that one copied.
Whose homework did it copy?
The one that used to play Grixis in Legacy all the time. It costs 1 and it's like a negative. It's like a -13 creature or something like that, and the lower your life total is, I can't remember what it's called. I like played this card. Oh, the Alzheimer's. Anyway, it's kind of like that, except you have to crew it, and you can pay 2 life to draw a card. Cool. Last Ride is cool. Cool card. Winter Cursed Rida. 3/2 for 2. Pay 2 life. Artifacts you control have ward, pay 2 life. Sure. Exhaust, exotics, artifacts, each other non-for a creature gets bad. Search your library for an artifact and reveal it. Put it on the battlefield if its mana is 2, otherwise put it in your hand. 6 is a lot, but I do like searching my library for an artifact. I like that part about it, but 6 is a lot. Mendicant Core Guidelight. Well, I hope it's a Mendicant and not a Mendicant, but we'll read the rest of it.
thinking he's a decent little artifact commander.
Star 3 for 3. Artifact creature robot, huh? Not construct.
Not construct. Nope. Not construct.
Golem.
Or Gear Hulk or
Yeah.
a robot.
It's a robot. Equal the number of artifacts you control power. Start your engines max speed. When you cast an artifact, you may pay 1 if you do a copy. This is a very strong effect. You do have to wait 4 turns to get there.
And you have to do that in blue-white.
You can do that in blue-white. You could, like, I don't know, just play flyers and creatures with shadow. You can do it. It will gum up your deck with crap, right? But
he is a 2-cost commander that does start your engines, though.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's
And
a decent
engines
blocker probably if you give him first strike or something. I think he would probably never play him as commander, but he could go in some artifact deck possibly. But even then, start your engines.
Oh, he's going to go in the Shoryukai deck.
Okay.
Absolutely. You're telling me when I cast Cybermen Squadron, I pay 1 and make a copy of it?
I'm telling you that might be hard with a max speed of 1. But we'll see. You could do. I mean, there's a lot of flyers and stuff in artifact decks. It could happen. It could happen. The Aether Spark.
Urza loves that guy.
Okay, so we have a Planeswalker equipment, which there's no reason to ever do. This breaks Mark Rosewater's rule of don't do something just because you can. Have there be a reason for it.
Just make it a new card type. If you want
Just
to do
have
some
it-
weird artifact.
Literally just have it be an equipment, but fine. Like, okay, it costs 4. It's an equipment. It essentially equips for free. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to anything, not just a player. Okay, that's good. Put that many loyalty counters on, but it's only during your turn, so you're not getting them on your opponent's turn like GT.
But they can't target it when it's attached to something.
Kind of bad. You get counters on that creature at least. -5, draw 2 cards. That's good. 10 mana of any one color. I think it's bad. I think
this is they're testing the waters for weird ass equipment.
Yeah, the first weird ass crossover shouldn't exist. Frankenstein card probably shouldn't be too good because it puts you off doing it again. I'm kind of happy this card seems to suck in Commander.
Yeah, what was that? What was that Streets of New Capenna card that was your lands tap for treasure tokens? You know what I'm talking about?
Bootlegger's
Bootlegger,
Dash or something like that.
This card reminds me of that because I remember New Capenna coming out and they were like, "Oh, look at Bootleggers! Isn't this cool?" And everyone was talking it up and literally never saw play. Like I can see this in some random equipment decks. And I'm sure some people can jank it up, but I think it's going to be more trouble than it's worth.
If you're trying to draw cards in an equipment deck, you are spoiled for choice.
Right.
So yeah, I don't see it. Constructed, maybe, I don't know. They figure something out, but Vinwix Verbose Host. Verbose Host with the most. 04 for 2. Start your engines. You have no max hand size. Max speed. If you draw a card, draw 2 instead. I don't like it.
But it has draw a card.
Look,
draw more cards.
Fibblethip worked. Don't force it. Okay. And then we have a bunch of
another Soul Ring. The next card is just another Soul Ring.
No, it's the worst Temple of the False God ever.
Oh, true. That's a way better.
It's the worst
comparison.
Temple of the False God, which itself should never be played. So,
it's like Temple of the False God that you are forced to play turn 1, but at least it does tap for 1.
At least it does tap for something. Like that's true.
Probably level with Temple of the False God.
Like you can just put this in a deck, and even if the max speed never happens, it's just a land. Like it'll never hurt you. where he's Temple to False
Imagine you
God,
play this
makes
early,
opening
you
hands
don't
really
get max
awkward.
speed. Did you just get annihilated? How
What?
did you not do damage 4 times?
Yeah, I don't know. Still, like, they couldn't make it too good. You can't print like soul lands in standard. Apparently, you can print Chrome Mox in standard. That's fine
Now
because
the
you at least
next
lose a
one,
card. But
another crashing drawbridge, except it's a land, so it's harder to target.
true, you do have to start your engines and have a max speed though.
True, but when you're building up to dropping something big to haste, you're probably ready.
It's more of like a Hanweir battlements kind of thing. But
Damn, the references though.
Night Market. Ooh, is this like High Market? Can we sacrifice a creature? No. It enters tapped, and it cycles for the trash. What a crap card.
The biggest
Raceway,
one.
max
Look at that
speed,
comment
discard first and then draw, so we loot. No. No. Lifecraft Engine, choose creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen creature type. Each creature you control the chosen type other than this vehicle gets 1/1. Okay.
So turn all your vehicles into cats.
And we got our 5,000th cycle of enters tapped dual lands that gain you a life, but without the land types, so they're bad.
But we got the Verge.
We got the Verges, the urge to Verge. This is big,
This
big
whole
news.
set was worth it.
Yeah,
Except you have to look at loot in most of these arts.
that's sad, but I'm sure there'll be a million alt arts.
Click on Willow Rush and see the alt art.
Oh, great. Yeah, this is great. That's completely fine.
Yeah, that is more than acceptable.
That's even kind of very good. All right, hey, look at that. We fixed it. Perfect.
If WotC just remembers to give us a good alternative art when they do something goofy.
It's something for everyone. Catman 007, HeyWoah, I'm new to Magic. Are these a new set of cards that were released? This is a new set of cards that is about to be released. It's spoilers for the next
2 weeks it comes out.
Yeah, in about 2 weeks it comes out. And so I'm looking through it as a Commander player to see if there's any thing for me, right?
I will say, if
And
you're
there's
new
like
to Magic,
there's like 5 cards that are borderline okay. One that's kind of good but specific. One that's a commander that's seemingly really good. So on average, I guess it's fine. There are a lot of legendary creatures that could have been commanders in here that are just god awful. So I'm sad about that. But there's some neat stuff. Nothing like inspirational that's gonna have me make a 4th commander deck or anything. So I'm, I guess, a little disappointed by that. But hey, all right.
and if you're new, they just made the set for you. Foundations is actually like a really solid, brand new to Magic.
Yeah,
set.
Foundations is pretty good.
And the best brand new to Magic set is called Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, true. We got the Cycle of Lands with the car. The fucking Dry Vigo Ume Cargo lands. And then the Bright Glass Gearhulk, which is a much better Ranger of Eos, except uncastable, with quad color pips instead of just one.
Just go get your Skull Clamp and your Soul Ring.
Yeah, get whatever you want. And it's up to 2 as well. Artifact, creature, or enchantment that costs 1. I like Bright Glass Gearhulk. You just have to have an expensive mana base to be able to cast it, that's all.
Welcome.
But I like it.
No, this is a standard release that includes Commander product.
Yeah.
So it's going to be legal in all formats.
Releases do come out specific for different formats. Not each format, but different ones. Although everything gives you Commander cards at least a little bit, because Commander is the most popular way to play and they want people to buy packs. So they kind of
like Innistrad is not standard legal.
Yeah.
Which is why it kind of came and went and nobody cared.
It's in green, it's easier to cast. Yeah, true. It is at least in green.
Yeah, it goes Celestia, that's super easy to cast.
A new Duretti, huh?
Is the beginner box? I assume you mean the beginner box that they made for Foundations. If you're asking if that's going to be good, then yes, that's a excellent place. Because I think it also comes with like some staple cards, like you're guaranteed to get like Swiftfoot boots and some other things in there. That just make sure it's the one that comes with like, oh, here's your specific cards plus some packs. That's an awesome box to start if they even have those in stock still.
Here we got a new Duretti.
In Tabletop Simulator.
New Duretti, huh? 5 for a star 5.
Who's Drake from that show where he's in a wheelchair?
Duretti.
Can't remember it.
Yeah, you know, I did see that on Twitter. People were complaining like, "Oh, here comes the DEI. We're putting Magic Legends and heroes in wheelchairs now." But they have outed themselves as fake fans because Duretti has always been in a wheelchair from years ago. So eat shit. Anyway, whenever Duretti enters or attacks, I actually like enters. That kind of saves this card, I think, from being awful. Because enter, you get the Goblin engine. What was it? Not Goblin Lackey, not Goblin Engineer. Anyway, the 1/1 for 1 that you can tap and hot swap artifacts from your
Stack
graveyard.
of treasure, bring out a giant artifact dragon.
Yeah, yeah. Tools and Tubbies from Extended circa 2009 or whatever. Anyway, I like that you could just cast him and his effect works, and then he may or may not be able to attack and do it again, but at least happens right away. You don't have to wait for him to tap. So I kind of like him in a red-based or red X artifact graveyard, you know, kind of thing. Professor X DEII, yeah. Earth Rumbler and then a bunch of land. What about 2? What do we got here? Nothing. Okay. Does variance show us any cards we haven't seen on that other page?
It does not. But you know, there are some funny arts in here.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
The Commander visual, I believe, has cards that are only specifically in the Commander decks.
Oh, okay.
So
all right, big.
Those
all
might
right.
be variants.
All right, hey, I'm getting a drink. I'll be right back, and I'll look at those, and then we'll do the funny tier thing.
Big drink.
Big drinker.
Introducing the best news for ice cream lovers since ice cream began. New Simple Pleasures. It's everything you love about ice cream, but no point. New Simple Pleasures is unbelievably rich, incredibly creamy, and absolutely top. Oh yeah. Because New Simple Pleasures is made with all natural
Pure athlete, yeah.
instead of point. New delicious all natural Simple Pleasures. There's never been an ice cream like it.
All right, we back. Aether Drift Commander spoiler, huh? So this has some stuff that we didn't see in the other stuff because it wasn't okay to print in standard. Well, that's what I like to hear. The alt art for the Bug Commander is cool. All right, let me check it out. The Bug. What's it called? What was the Bug one? It was the big green black, right? For 6. Too hot for standard, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Moth Girl. Good art. It is a good one. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures control the chosen type 1/0. Getting your end step for each token controlled the chosen type that entered this turn. Create a token as a copy of it. Yeah, Renewed Solidarity. Yeah, that's a good card. That's a good token deck card for sure. The price is right. 3's decent there. You do have to kind of care about creature type, so you can't be a literally all different tokens and no one cares, like the Banui deck. What's the name?
White zombie token's gonna love them.
What's the fucking Naya Banui tap tokens to draw cards bunny? Anyway, might not fit in something like that, but would definitely fit. Usually token decks are by accident kind of around one creature type for the most part.
Right, cat, yes, the start set is able to be used for Commander. Like HeyWoah said, most cards these days are legal in Commander. There's not really a time limit for them.
Yeah.
That's why people love Commander.
One of the main reasons people like Commander is the cards don't rotate. And one of the main reasons Magic has grudgingly adopted Commander as opposed to really liking it is because the cards don't rotate. And the company really likes cards rotating because it forces you to buy packs. And the players really don't like it when formats rotate because they're forced to buy cards. And they want to use their cards forever.
In a world where you don't just buy singles.
Yeah. Well, even then you have to spend money at least, right? And it means the stores have to buy packs, which is the same thing as players buying packs from their point of view.
Now, I've never seen you play an energy deck, HeyWoah. Do your eyes glaze over when you see the energy symbol like mine do?
For Commander, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I played energy when it was in Kaladesh. I played a energy modern deck for fun. It wasn't like good. Aetherworks Marvel, I played that for a little while. Like in 1v1, I'll play anything if it's good, right? But in Commander, there kind of weren't enough energy cards to support something like that. And there still probably aren't, but I don't know, maybe there are.
Love the Prophet of the Scarab, like Grandpa at the beach in his Speedo art.
Yeah. 3/4 for 5 vigilance when this creature enters, draw a card. Oh yeah, it's that one. Yep, this'll go in all sorts of blue zombie decks. Super good card. It's when it enters, not cast either. And hey, you know, zombie is as a tribe, they're able to bring cards back from the graveyard. You know, so you can use this guy more than once. That's for sure. On Wings of Gold, creatures you control that are zombies and/or tokens get 1/1 and have flying. Oh, flying, big. Okay, so in a non-blue deck, you don't have to put Wonder in the graveyard to give your zombies flying. Kind of nice. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create 1 white zombie token. It would be nice if it was 1 for each, but okay. Still, giving your zombies and/or tokens flying is kind of a big deal. It's a maybe.
Rise of the Dark Realm, and I will make 1 white zombie creature token.
Energy felt empty for you until you got the energy precon from Master Set that makes token copies of stuff. The thing with energy works very well in like a 60 card energy deck because you just put 4 of copies all the best energy cards in it and then it really works. It's just when you go to singleton and 100, you're spread way too thin. You can't put enough good energy cards in. It's like the problem with it.
Oh, dude, you know who's gonna love Prophet of the Scarab? A little enchantment called Necro Duality.
Yeah. Little Rooftop Storm.
Oh, well, I mean, if you got Rooftop Storm and you're a zombie tribal, is the rest of the table even playing?
I mean, they're trying to.
They're doing their darndest.
Territorial Aetherkite. When it enters, you get 2 energy, then you may pay 1 or more when you do this creature deals that much damage to each of them. Yeah, it just... We need like another 20 years of energy cards, and then you can make like a really good energy deck in Commander, maybe.
Energy to me always feels like it's cards. Other cards do what energy cards do at almost the same cost. It's just like a weird extra step.
Yeah, it is almost like a superfluous. It's a different sort of mana that sticks around. You know, it's a second land base that's floating somewhere in the exile zone. It's kind of weird.
Or I'm sorry, look at Aetherflux Conduit. I'm mistaken.
Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that. Yeah, you have to be able to put in a lot of stuff like this to generate you energy somehow, right? off of your non-energy cards. Pay 50 energy. Draw 7 cards. You may cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So this is the upgrade to Aetherworks Marvel, then.
What a Timmy card.
Yeah, big Johnny Timmy energy here.
Otherwise, that's kind of it for Commander spoilers.
All right. You know, could have been better, but there's some stuff in here. I might buy one of these cards, and then put it in one of my commander decks as a maybe that may or may not stick around for it.
I think Renewed Solidarity is going to be an interesting card.
Renewed Solidarity.
Yeah, that one where you being an event step for each token you control chosen, make a copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I meant for me personally, but I can see a bunch of like Transit Mage is cool. I like that. I'm probably gonna pick up. Anne Frog Lady for Glarb. That's like the
Mario card.
I think that's the one purchase I might make. I'll buy one card here. Oh, if you're new to Magic, don't buy packs or boxes.
Never buy packs or boxes of packs.
That's it's nit behavior. Well, it's not nit behavior. It's you're like playing a gotcha game, pay pig, sucker kind of like you're just sort of spending money. It's fun to open packs and boxes and stuff, but buying singles is where it's at. That's the way.
Learn to play the game on MTG Arena, and you can open free packs on there for free and get the same feeling.
Yeah, and then play on TTS, try before you buy, and then get a commander deck in real life and come to Adepticon, and then there you go. Anyway, I'm gonna try this lady. I want to get 4 decks right. I have 3 obviously, but I'm waffling on this 4th one. I can't.
We got Wick the World Mind Rat deck.
John Wick the Rat Mind.
Tree Beard.
Big beard. Yeah.
We got a Jorkadine Living Weapon.
I'm Jorkin Madine.
I'm looping my booster or whatever the fuck. And then Big Tom Bomb Saga Control deck.
Oh yeah. Tom Bombadil. What colors are you thinking for deck 4? I'm not sure. I suppose that's maybe the problem. I have ignore Torsten here, but I got a 5-color deck that's based on Flicker. And then I have a Sultai deck that's based on lands and greed.
Founder of Drawing 7.
And then I have a Jeskai deck that's based on equipment and to a lesser degree artifacts. So I got 5-color Flicker, 3-color land greed, and 3-color equipment artifacts. And so that's
Garbage truck is so nasty.
Yeah, that's the 3. And so like, what do I do for the 4th deck? This is just like a loading zone for random other places. But yeah, Torsten, founder of Drawing 7. I'm like, this guy costs 7, right? So what if I made mono green white Atraxa? When this thing enters, you reveal the top 7 and put any number of creatures and or lands from among them into your hand. So what if the entire deck was only creatures and lands? Which means when you cast Torsten, you simply draw 7 every time. Rain or shine.
Amazing.
And so that was
cast ETB.
Yeah, it's just ETB, yeah. And so you can flicker them and stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll make a Selesnya deck where the whole point is your commander draws you 7 cards whenever he enters. In which case it's kind of like a 2-color Atraxa that actually draws you more cards.
And then you have all the random green, dump your whole hand onto the... Yeah, there they are, yeah. And now you have a new one from Aetherdrift. Put that random green guy that lets you drop your whole hand in.
Oh, yeah. Because we're playing Galta, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're dropping the whole hand. And then, some random bigs and stupid crap. There's like a sub-theme of whenever you cast a creature spell, do something like Silverback Elder and God Eternal Oketra.
People forget Silverback Elder. He's so good.
Triple green is kind of rough sometimes. I like him. Anyway.
Dude, green does not give a shit what the cost is on the top right.
Yeah, especially 2-color
It
green.
just doesn't matter.
Anyways, there's a sub-theme of like grabbing a White Mane Lion or a Core Skyfisher or a Fleetwood Panther and just, or Karametra, right? So the sub-theme is whenever you cast a creature, do something cool. And then you have like 6 lands out. You get the White Mane Lion 3 times, which gets you 3 lands and gets you actually 6 lands instead of 3, and maybe makes you 3 4/4s and draws you some cards, blah blah blah. Anyway, or makes copies of them. It's like okay. I just kind of tooled it up together. The mana curve is probably off a little bit, and the numbers probably are as well. But it was a funny thing. It was like the most recent. Hey, I wonder what a 4th deck would look like. So this is like I'm in the maybe pile. On top of the oven, which has a bunch of other maybe piles. You know, Traxa, Gilrana, Ravos. I made a Marchesa deck for CJ. I started putting together John Irenicus before I realized that what I thought would probably happen did, and I don't think it's any good. Some Omnath stuff. Is the deck list you're putting together? No, SJ laughed at Torsten, founder of Drawing 7, and so I was just explaining like how it worked a little bit. Got
There's
anything?
a lot of decks that HeyWoah makes that will never be put in paper, which is how it's supposed to be. That's why TTS is so fun.
Yeah, every once in a while we log into TTS and just have like a little commander night. And I like to always bring new random decks that are just funny or stupid or weird and play it one time and then that's it, you know? Because what's the harm?
Like every creature in this deck cycles.
Yeah, like the 20 cycler deck. That was funny. Got anything from Mardu or Orzhov? No. Wait, I mean, probably, yeah. Dihada, not finished, but just like a bunch of legends and card draw, like Legend Tribal thing. Akiri Timna, which has apparently turned into Akiri Ravos. It's also in the oven. It's not done.
Oh god, those two are always trouble together.
Well, the whole point is you play an Akiri, which has first strike and a big power, so that it's like a good blocker, and then you sit back reusing all your like artifact creatures over and over.
Hey, Wayward.
Clearly, I haven't updated it for a while because it still has a dock side in it.
Illegal dang. Go to the Discord and you'll have the table that'll let you play Magic. Otherwise, you just use Moxfield. You literally copy paste the link into the thing on the table. Makes all your cards appear like Magic. For free.
I clearly don't like Orzhov too much because I have 0 black-whites.
Black-white always feels like it's missing something.
Yeah. Blue.
Yeah, it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
It's blue. And then random TTS. I probably have that. Oh yeah, another CJ Busta deck for black. White.
Nuke them? Hell yeah.
Oh, remember Duke, comma, nuke them?
Duke
deck. Alder Ravengard.
As long as someone's playing group hug ever.
The Duke. Yeah, I haven't updated this one for a while. We got Monocrypt banned, Jeweled Lotus banned, Dockside banned.
How the hell are you supposed to cast this guy if you don't have those 3 cards?
Well, you're not. It's bad. And it got worse. We got the Dong, dude. Give him the D, the Dong Zone.
Terror of the Peak.
Yeah, Markov Enforcer is actually really good with Myriad. Myriad is a cool mechanic. There's a lot of fun cards work with Myriad.
To not go crazy with Myriad because it's so good.
I don't know why this motherfucker costs 6. Like, holy shit. But anyway, it's fun when there's a group hug.
12.
If there's a group hug player at the table, Duke is funny. Drawing you 4 cards a turn, you still might not make it, but Karametra, God of Cheerios. I was maybe considering this one. When you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for forest or plains and put it on the battlefield tapped. So it's basically an Emeria of the Sky Ruin deck with 10 plains and 13 forests.
Oh, and if you've never played Magic against HeyWoah, just be prepared for like his turn 4 or 5. Don't matter the deck. He'll have 10 to 12 lands on the field.
Look, the first thing you decide when you're making a commander deck is, okay, in what way will I ramp? That's the question you ask yourself. In
First
what way shall I be ramping here?
Then I card draw.
Yeah, then you draw cards, and then you get to play them. Anyways, the point of Karametra is in the early turns you play like whatever, just some stuff, some setups, some God Eternal, you know, Silverback, maybe a Helpful Hunter, maybe an Elvish Visionary, a little Wall of Blossoms, Stronghold Classic, you know. And then on turn 5 you play Karametra, and on that turn you play one of 14 creatures for 0, or a few more. And all of these creatures are pay 0, search for a land, put it tapped. That's value. And so it's kind of like a Cheerios deck, where you hopefully have some sort of Beast Whisperer out, and then you get Karametra, and you play a bunch of creatures for 0 that all draw you cards, and searches for land and puts it out, and then, you know, eventually you somehow win with whatever, you know, Crater Hoof, or Allurin, or Aetherflux Reservoir, or some silly thing. Oh, also Primal Surge. Primal Surge is the only permanent card in the whole deck, so if you cast Primal Surge, you flip over your entire deck and win the game, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, there's Muriel. Yeah.
The problem with the deck is you have a high chance of running out of draw after you do your whole thing, and if you run out of draw, your top decks are just horrible and the deck sucks and loses. So like, that's the problem with it. It's kind of silly. It'd be like a fun, silly, like one-time TTS playing thing, but you know, it's all right. HeyWoah, neither does WotC. Oof, the big oofs. Anyway, to answer your question, I'm not sure. I tend to like, as you can see, I'll put this in the oven because it's still in the oven, right? As you can see with the 3 commander decks that I already have, I tend to like a lot of colors. And playing ramp in any funny way that I can. I like playing ramp, and I like playing a million colors. So if I were to choose a 4th commander deck, it'd be nice if it was in a color spread that wasn't too similar to these, but that's hard because this is everything, right? Maybe green, red X, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm more interested in like a cool commander and or like a cool interaction to keep doing. But I've been waffling around with it. I like commanders that draw me cards and or recur stuff. Because if a card is good enough to cast once, it's good enough to cast every turn. You know what I mean? Anyway, SJ will be right back. Dr. AoS, MtG color identities video was funny because your AoS army does not match your favorite Magic color combo. It doesn't for me either, not even close. Magic is such a different game than AoS, though, that a lot of times you won't have that sort of crossover. Like for me, it's the same thing. Wayward Alpha. I believe I put what did I put him as? I think I put Ogres as Jund, and I'm not a Jund player, really. So, you know, the mechanics are so different that it kind of doesn't translate between games, I don't think. Tamir or Jund? Yeah, I think so. After just saying that I'm not really a Jund player, I could be. I think Tamir might be a decent, if we're just talking about color, right? Jund would be more, at least in Commander, Jund would be more like recursion and group slug. And
Inzi is so cool.
And Tamir would be more. What even is Tamir's thing in Commander?
Hydras.
I mean like really 30,000 foot view. Like, we were just saying that, like Jund is kind of group slug, a little aggro, and a lot of recursion, right? That might be. And Tamir is like.
Tamir's like ramp and tall.
Creature-based spell slinger, maybe, kind of cascade stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Magus Kane is so fun.
So largely speaking, Tamir's theme might be on some bullshit. Like that could be the encapsulation of it. Like if you're on Tamir, you're probably on some bullshit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Maelstrom Wander Animar is on some bullshit.
Oh, there's Storm just came out. She's like, whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn has Storm. The next one. And she has to deal combat damage to a player. But that, I don't know, that could be interesting. Make like a Dragon Storm deck, you know? Remember Dragon Storm? That shit's sweet. I want to play Dragonstorm in Commander. I mean, if you want to play Dragonstorm in Commander, then Tamir is the colors for you, right? You gotta imagine.
I mean, yeah, in a world where you're not just doing like the Dragon.
I wanna play Allurin, Food Chain, and Dragonstorm. Make it happen. Yeah, Dragonstorm with Storm, Storm. So double Stormies, yeah. Is there any commander that works with those? Let's see. Those are two different. I don't think you can bring Storm into it if you're trying to bring Food Chain and Allurin into it. But those win cons are pretty small. Pretty small package. Allurin, you really want to be in black to win with, though, so maybe Allurin isn't the way. Food Chain you could totally do. Red, blue, green actually has the most color spread of win cons with Food Chain, right? Because it has both Mist Hollow Griffin and Squee. And what's the colorless one? I don't know, Endless Mutant or something. The Devoid guy. Cooking any Boros decks out there? No, I have like funny Boros decks that I've made to just play on TTS here and there, you know, Duke Nuke them and stuff. The closest I get to Boros is Arden Crom, which is like my equipment deck. I think Boros is just, as a two-color it's just missing a color so bad that I don't think I can really play Boros. You just have to add blue to it. You have to add blue to it. You have to add green to it. It's missing so much. To me, I think. And this thing is slowly morphing into almost more of like an artifact deck. It's just, it gets artifact count by having equipment. So. Anyway. If I'm trying to win with Food Chain, then the commander... It would be nice if the commander drew cards upon entering, right? Because if you're doing an infinite Food Chain combo, you can swap over to infinitely casting your commander. And it'd be nice to win if you... So that you don't need a third card in your hand as a payoff. I think that's probably the rule with Food Chain, is if your commander can't win you the game with infinite mana, then you probably don't want it. You either don't want that commander or you don't want a Food Chain combo. Because otherwise you got to find a third payoff card. You got to get your Walking Barista or something. I don't know if there is anything like that in Tamir. mean, maybe Riku. First spell during each of your turns. Maelstrom Wanderer, maybe, but it's a big question mark, right? Moto spell, no.
Owen Grady, Raptor Trainer?
Oh, to any target. Hey, alright. Yeah, Omnath would work. So if you have infinite mana, you could, and Food Chain out, you can Omnath to deal 1 damage, because that's the number of elementals you will have to everybody. So that would win the game. So Omnath wins off of Food Chain. So that's something. You can Food Chain win with Omnath for damage, right? And then you just keep exiling it and moving it back to the command. So that's a possibility. Obviously, Thrasios draws your whole deck. So you can win somehow, right? So like Thrasios, Rograk is a decent choice there. Dies, draw a card, no, you're exiling. Interestingly enough, Borborygmos and Fibblethip works with Food Chain. Because it draws you 1 card on enter, so it will do that, and you'll eventually draw your whole deck. Although, unfortunately, his ability sucks, but, like, technically, it is a Food Chain outlet. And that's probably going to be it. Okay. So yeah, our options are, if we're keeping it to has to win with Food Chain out plus, you know, whatever else we're trying to do, then our options are,
all these Doctor Who cards you could be playing.
I hate no, I could also play Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
No, dude, the Owen Grady and his Raptor is the most egregious.
Owen Grody and his Riptar.
Chris Pratt from Jurassic Park over with his loyal Raptor as his partner.
Gross. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the win cons with Omnath would work with Food Chain, Thrasios would work with Food Chain, Borborygmos technically works with Food Chain. It's those 3. Wait, the new loot. Hold on, the new Luet, right? I would just have to grumble about using a character I don't like, but this guy... Oh, actually, he doesn't, now that I think about it. Yeah, he has haste, and yeah, he can tap to draw 3 cards or deal 3 to any target, right? But I'm pretty sure... Food Chain, you can only use the mana to cast creature spells. You can't use it to cast or to activate creature abilities. So loot doesn't actually win the game with Food Chain. Unless the wording is different, I'm almost positive it isn't activate. Because it was too old, right? Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. Yeah, loot's not, loot is not allowed for Food Chain. Interesting / sad. Because otherwise that could kind of work. I suppose loot is a possibility as well. Not with Food Chain, obviously, but... Run Averna and try to abuse Cascade since you like Apex Devastator. I do like Apex Devastator.
Who doesn't like Apex Devastator?
I don't know. Fascists, maybe. Communists, maybe. Averna the Chaos Bloom. As you cascade, you may put a land from among them onto the battlefield tap. That's a good effect. It means you have to play, like, actually every single Cascade card in the game. And most of them are really, really bad.
And unfortunately, Discover doesn't count as Cascade.
Yeah, it doesn't. But there's only, like, 2 good Discover cards anyway, right? There's the Sun and the Dinosaur.
Not wrong.
So that's not so bad.
Or that Dinosaur Commander that makes everything Discover when you cast a dinosaur.
Yeah, but that, again, that's only a dinosaur, though. And then you have to fill up your deck with dinosaurs. And I don't really like tribal too much.
Your tribe is card draw.
That being said, nowadays I bet there's a whole lot of Cascade cards that are still good. I've played a Cascade. I used to have a Cascade deck, in fact, and it was Yidris Maelstrom Wanderer. I used to play this guy, and you play him with like every good Cascade card. You play him with every good, Urza's Cycle card that untaps lands when it enters. So you can keep like casting. Yeah, it's an ogre wizard, huh? It does fit. Why did I take this guy apart? It was a very long time ago. It was basically when Yidris came out. Yeah, non-white 4-color. What do you think of Hashaton? HeyWoah? Looks to me, I don't play CEDH. I don't play CEDH, but it looks like a CDH power level card potentially. It looks really strong. Costing only 2 is really good. You can cast it as a triggered ability. It makes copies of stuff. There's tons of combos with it. They're all pretty cheap. Counter spells don't work because a lot of them are triggered and activated abilities. It looks to be very strong.
Now, HeyWoah, hear me out. There's I didn't even know this one, a newish Cascade card from Dr. Hoomst.
Dr. Hoomst, new Cascade, okay.
That actually might be interesting. It's called Bigger on the Inside.
Okay.
It's an enchantment aura. It's Gruul in 3. Enchant artifact or land. Enchant a permanent, it gets tapped. Target player adds 2 mana of any color. The next spell you cast this turn has Cascade.
Okay. So it's Overgrowth, except for 5 instead of 3. But you can tap it.
1 Cascade a turn.
Yeah, it gives you an extra Cascade. That's funny. That's funny. Bigger on the inside.
Man, between this one and was it Cyberman Squadron?
You don't have to put it on a land either. You could put it on an artifact if you really wanted to. It doesn't have to be
a land.
On
your microsynth spring or whatever, something that comes in and does nothing.
Oh, Darksteel Relic.
Darksteel Relic.
There, yeah, put it on a Darksteel Relic. It's indestructible. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, those 4 precons were sick. I can tell you. I remember it now. I'm like, why did I take this deck apart? I took this deck apart, and this is like 20 or whatever, a million years ago, because its turns took way too long, and I felt bad. Like your turns took forever, because I'm gonna cascade 4 times, and then you cascade into a cascade, and then you cascade into a Great Whale and untap 7 lands and cast another spell which cascades into a Balancron. And then you untap 7 lands and cascade into Time Spiral. And then everybody shuffles up and you draw 7 and untap 6 lands. And then cascade into Mind's Desire. So you shuffle your library and cast 14 spells for free. Now, I guess I don't have to build the deck in that way. It was fun. You just got to pull out all the high power tables then. Well, that's the thing about it. It wasn't high power, as in like it would just get smoked if you were being even remotely competitive with it. Because all of its spells were super expensive and they just took forever. So it was probably the worst of both worlds. It gets destroyed by anyone using any sort of interaction. But against a weak pool, it hogged all the time, which is like the exact place you never want to be. I guess I could just remake it. And also he's an ogre wizard, right? That's kind of on the theme. It's kind of on brand. Ogre Wizard. And I just build it in a way to make the table not want to shoot me, right? But I'm sure I could still build it in a fun way. And I can put Dragonstorm in it. That's funny. Dragonstorm funny. Right?
Ogre Wizard Dirtle Maxer. Yeah, that is the most on brand
Yeah.
it could possibly be.
Ogre Wizard Ramp Dirtle Maxing. Yeah. Which dragon would you put in for Dragonstorm? Some combination of probably 5 dragons that would win the game. I don't know if you... I think you'd probably find a combination of enough dragons that all enter and see each other entering that could probably just kill everyone. It would be like that. It would be like the smallest...
Other dragons.
It wouldn't just be to like play dragons or whatever. It would be like, this is the card I win with, and I just chose a stupendously expensive, stupid win con that wastes too much space in my main deck instead of just using a 2-card combo, you know. Personally, you like Klauth, Unrivaled Ancient. I'll look him up. Klauth. When he attacks, add... Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's one of the attack, add mana, and it stays for a while. All of those... all those guys are good. All those guys are good. A fine choice, sir. If you want to use loot, use his first cast off food chain to make mana, and then the second one to draw. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. If you all you need is 1 extra mana then, which surely you could have at that point. You're right, Cameron Becker. It requires 1 extra combo or 1 extra normal mana on the combo turn, but that's probably pretty easy. Yeah, no, that makes sense, because you play them, you spend a green, you get 3, and then from that 3, you can use one of them to draw, and then the last one to add 3 again. And so you're spending the... or you could use one of them to draw, one of them to add mana, and then just keep the third around, right? Doesn't matter. So your food chain mana is going into loot, but you're still having leftover.
Damn, he's right.
Yeah, that would work. Cool. All right, nice. So loot's back on the table as a potential commander in that case.
You can run loot. Your favorite character.
Yeah, my favorite Star Wars character, loot. What about Wood Elemental? True, yeah. What about sacrificing untapped forests to make a 1/1 for 5? Can't wait for it to get bounced.
Favorite Star Wars character, Luton Boosted Slooper.
Yeah, the Loot Boost and Sloopers. That's the deck name. Absolute Loot Boost and Sloopers. Am I right?
I'm just new boost slooping.
Let's see. Are we doing the tier thing, or are we... Man, you know, I think the tier thing, we might want a graphic for.
Its own game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's its own stream. And we maybe want a graphic for it or something. Not a graphic, but just like a place to have it, you know, on the screen at least. But that would be a fun... I still kind of want to do that, I think.
Oh, yeah. Is this where we're looking at certain things and we're ranking them in some kind of 4-rank system?
Yeah, you know, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. The thing that Wizards of the Coast said they would do 3 months ago. That thing.
Hey, they only have to rank 800 million cards.
Yeah, well, they only have to do what they have chosen to need to do. They didn't have to choose this life, but they did.
They sure chose.
Right now, they're writing the API that hooks into Gatherer. Well, never mind, because Gatherer doesn't work half the time. Even Wizards probably uses Scryfall, let's be honest. So that when you build your deck in Moxfield, it'll tell you your commander's tier. Because it's the only way it's gonna work if they do something like that. Razorkin Needlehead alt art looks sick. I will look at it now.
The real question I'm sure they're asking every day is, are we ranking these cards as the card itself, or is it in context?
They're not ranking it in context, right? Because otherwise Vampiric Tutor would not be in tier 4. They're ranking it by, like, the most powerful use of it, probably. Right? I would imagine.
I certainly hope so.
As I look at it. Because what are you going to put Thassa's Oracle in tier 1 because the card actually sucks? No, you're going to put it in tier 4 because it's part of the best 2-card win combo in the entire format. You kind of have to assume that a card is being played at its best. Just as your opponents have to kind of assume that.
Yeah, I just run it in my Merfolk tribal deck as dog shit.
Okay. Hey, I just run a basic plains in my deck that doesn't have any costs that include white, but you can do that if you want. Razorkin Needlehead. Oh, yeah, it's got the reflection in the glasses about to be pierced. The alternative art here.
I'm glad.
First strike during your turn, whenever an opponent draws a card, deals 1 damage to them. Oh, a little tiny shield red. The world's tiniest shield red. Okay. Look at this fucking big clown unicycle Axeman. What is this? Dude, Rakdos cards. Rakdos cards. Typical.
Hey, Perforating Artist is sick.
Perforating Artist is sick.
Clown subtype.
Creature down 3/2 for 3 death touch at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, each opponent loses 3 life unless the player sacrifices non-land permanent to their choice or discards a card. Seems like a decent standard card, like aggro,
Oh, have 1 or 2 of them with an Urbrask Forge, and your opponent is squealing.
You didn't even know Clown had a subtype. Yep, Human Clown Berserker is the creature type there. Hey, good work, Human Clown Berserker. Anyway, does anyone have a third suggestion? Just for the putting it in the oven. We got Yidris, maybe. We got Loot, maybe. Is there a third? Is there a third suggestion?
I hear a third?
For 4th possible commander. I'm willing to listen to all. Lord Magnus. What was the criteria? It can't be these exact color combinations. And personally, I like to ramp and draw cards.
And probably not Jund for some reason.
Well, I like Jund plenty. It's just most of their commanders I don't jive with, I guess.
Oh, do the mole deck.
Lord Magnus, Lord Chat. What is Magnus 2 colors or 3?
He's is it, I think.
He's is it.
Is it? Yeah. Which is blue red there.
Am I blind?
Be relative. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking for Lord. Okay, got it. Yeah, Magnus the Rad.
He's a little beefy.
What is this? The Illidan Stormrage we have at home. 4/5 for 5 flying. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature token. So I mean,
Lord Magnus. There's apparently a Lord Magnus card. That is Selesnya.
He's 2 white green. Oh, you mean the one from Legends? He doesn't have planeswalking, friend. He has creatures with, well, he has creatures with planeswalking can be blocked as though they did not have planeswalking. And the number of creatures with planeswalking in all of Magic is 1. And then there's an enchantment for 6 that does it. You were talking about that Lord Magnus.
What about Big Mole Dude?
What about Big Mole Dude?
Yeah, Quake 4 Mole Engine.
Oh, Quake 3 Arena, the mole.
Yeah.
I played him
sick.
twice on TTS, and you got to spin a lot of plates to get anything to really do it with that one. Yeah, he's way funnier in concept than he is in execution. To me, you have to spin just a few too many plates, but he is himself a funny meme. The mole god. Return to monkey with Raga Draga. Hold up. Who? I'm just assuming this is green red, okay? It's called Raga Draga. I'm just like kind of guessing that it's, yeah, there it is. What do you do? Human boar. 4/4 for 4. Each creature you control with mana ability gets 2/2.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, okay,
that
so
guy.
like we run every Llanowar elf that's ever been printed, right? That's the deck. Whenever a creature you control with a mana ability attacks, untap it. Cool. Whenever you cast a spell, if at least 7 mana was spent to cast it, untap target creature. It gets 7/7 and gains trample. Big. Oh fuck. All right, that is a Return the Monkey card. Okay, this deck is absolutely terrified of one single Wrath of God. Like, it sends it... This deck is living in the Stone Age. It sends it back to the beginning of the universe if it loses all of its creatures, right?
It's a protozoa.
But I bet it's actually, like, more fun than you might think. It is pretty base, though. It kind of is.
Just run you a bunch of like heroic intervention type spells and hope for the best.
Can I cast a spell with like buyback or something over and over and make multiple creatures 7/7? Yeah, just wrap in vigor, just heroic intervention, simply red elemental blast, you know, or whatever. Simply protect your team.
And if you really want to pump up mana dorks in this, play Awaken the Woods and get you a bunch of
Awaken the Woods. Yeah, Circle of Dreams Druid, the guy's Cradle on legs. Asceticism unironically. Yeah, probably. Because you got to protect that team.
Yeah.
You're going to have plenty of mana.
Yeah, mana should be like, you're almost thinking you have like Helix Pinnacle level mana at this point.
Also, you accidentally probably infinite, right? That your win con is unironically
Devoted Druid in anything.
Yeah, well, just like I tap for 1 mana for each creature control, and then I untap for less than that somehow, and we go infinite. There's plenty of like win cons that involve tapping a creature for mana equal to its like power or something. Yeah, okay. Raga Draga.
Enduring Courage, if you scroll up there at the top, that card's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Enduring Courage works perfectly for this deck, right? That's for sure. And Enduring Vitality as well.
But the red deck should be mindful of that guy. Oh, Enduring Vitality, I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
Those two gains haste. It's real nice.
Oh, now that I think, hey, what about dude, Roxanne is cool. I kind of like Roxanne. I wish she was in more colors or better ones.
Oh yeah, she's kind of.
I think this card is fun. It's 4/3 for 5. Yeah, she costs too much. I agree. When she enters, you get a little tiny meteor that does 2 damage to anything, and then it's an arcane signet. Like, what if arcane signet dealt 2 damage when it entered? And that's whenever she enters or attacks. And then whenever you tap an artifact token for mana, you double it. Yeah, all right.
Oh, hey, that deck you were doing that you just want to have a bunch of effects that dump your whole hand onto the field?
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget about my boy over there, Kona Rescue Beastie.
At the beginning of your second main, if it's tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand on the battlefield. Why is it called Survival? I guess they wanted to codify half of that paragraph. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, Roxanne. I think she's funny.
Oh, yeah, I think survival is, he's swinging, so if he survives swinging. But, I mean, you just have Elven Chorus and tap him for green mana, and it's going to count.
Yeah. Roxanne is the most tragic commander ever. Because if this monocost featured white, it would be so good. If this was Naya,
dude.
so you could put all the flicker the Exile return cards in.
She probably was Naya because she's a cat, and then they saw it and said, absolutely not.
But she costs 5, it's fine. Anyway, I'm too sad about that, but she is cool.
You can always go Xenagos Whamma Jamma.
Yeah, you could go Xenagos Whamma Jamma. I had a Xenagos deck briefly. There's a Xenagos type, okay? There's a deck type, an archetype called a Xenagos deck. And the two things you have to know about the Xenagos type is, one, the problem with it is it's so easy to accidentally create one of those decks where you cast Xenagos on turn 5 and then Unnatural Growth on turn 6 and then fucking, Warstorm Surge on the next turn and then Fiery Immense. And so you've spent turn after turn tapping all of your lands, doing actual nothing, and just setting up for some future humongo turn that a random opponent destroys, like enchantments, or just kills you, and you've spent your whole time paying way too much mana to do nothing except something cool in the future, maybe. And that's a trap you can fall into when you're making Xenagos decks, is you can put in too many, oh shit, wouldn't it be cool if all of my guys had double strike and did triple damage and this and like, it's so easy to put way too many of those cards in. So that you're really playing like a creatureless, protectionless nothing deck that can't draw a creature to save your life. But if you do draw the creature, you deal 78 damage to every player. And the second part of Xenagos decks is that they're fun. Like, it's fun. So have a little bit of restraint when you're building the deck, because you don't need that much lack of restraint to kill everyone. It'll be fine.
What about, we're talking about the very beginning of the show. What about anything in Rakdos interest you?
As a color combination, no. One of my least favorites.
Lack of card draw.
No, it's got great card draw. Black is the best card draw, I think, in the game.
It's true.
Well, second best. Because if you ban Rhystic Study, then black is the best card draw, basically. But
yeah, that Rhystic gets you.
Yeah, my problem with Rakdos is it's the worst 2-color combination for removal.
Yeah.
I like to have good removal, and Rakdos removal is terrible. It just got better because they printed Blasphemous, whatever it's called. And that's like a decent removal card.
Yeah, that card's sick.
And they're slowly dipping their toe into trying to let black get rid of enchantments, but they haven't printed a good one yet. They printed a 1 for 2 that's a sorcery, so it's bad. And they printed 1 for 3, so it's bad, but it's an instant at least. And eventually they'll print a good one, maybe. So Withering Torment and Feed the Swarm have to carry, yeah. Which is crazy from a limited perspective. Yeah, so some cards, or some colors and color combos in limited or 1v1 are well known for having great removal, but moving to commander, it's just opposite day, and suddenly black is a terrible color for removal, actually, and red is the worst color for removal. It's even worse than green, which is crazy, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Imskir is a very interesting option, Hercules. I think I had one that I cooked up. Yeah. Imskir is a good idea and a good choice. This card's fun. So what he does is he has Affinity, So you're trying to make him cost 2. When he enters, you draw X cards, lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts you control rounded down. So it's a commander that draws you a bunch of cards when he enters. That's exactly what I want for a commander. He kind of costs 2 sometimes. That's what I want too. And then he has this sacrifice thing, who cares? That's great. And I got somewhat of a Imskir deck that's like half put together. You know, cranials and stuff and different artifacts and Excalibur to throw at people and a bunch of affinity for artifacts and gear repairs and Metalwork Colossus, which is a loop because you can keep sacking 2 artifacts to play it for free and then keep throwing 11 stuff at people. A decent amount of lifelink, some protection, a whole bunch of ramp cards that double as affinity for artifacts, and some recursion and some removal, right? Anyway, I like the idea of Imskir where you're like, okay, turn 2 artifact that draws you a card or gives you mana, and then turn 3 a bunch of artifacts that draw you cards or when they enter or die. And then eventually you play Imskir and fill your hand back up, and like that's cool. But red-black is the worst color combination for artifacts in the universe because it has no... You don't have any way of recovering from like a destroy all artifacts effect. Somebody casts... Somebody like blows up all the artifacts in a white deck, you can draw into a way out of that. Somebody blows up all artifacts in a black-red deck, you just have to eat shit. And I guess the point is that you draw out of it. But you better keep a lot of them in your hand.
And black-red wants to use treasures as that artifact count so bad. And with things like Dockside gone, it's just a little worse than it used to be.
Yeah. I think Imskir is fun and good, and you can make a lot of fun, cool things with it. It's just really risky. Like you just fall apart if somebody's playing a what's it called? What's that green creature that destroys all artifacts and enchantments when it enters? For 6, and it's a 2/2.
Bane of Progress, right?
Yeah, Bane of Progress.
Bane of Progress.
So you're 1 Bane of Progress away from losing the entire game and never being able to recover ever.
I remember that game.
Yeah. And that's like 2... I know that's like... I'm inventing a situation where you lose and, you know, you still have to play the game and everything. I just think situations like that are too common. But I really like Imskir. If there was like 4 cards they printed where it says return all artifacts from your graveyard to your hand for 5, you know, if there were like 4 of those, maybe I would have an Imskir deck, I'm not sure. But anyway, as you can tell, I mostly like to be able to keep playing the game and keep recurring stuff and build back from whatever type of board wipe, you know, kind of always be in it instead of real like all or nothing, well by lose, you know, kind of situations. Except for Blood Moon. I'll always simply lose to that card, and I've made my peace with it. Blood Moon, you got me.
Yeah, you just have to actually run into a human who plays Blood Moon.
Well, you know, once a month or so, once every 2 months, when I play with the old team, I do indeed run into players who are playing Blood Moon and Choke and Back to Basics and Lion's Eye Diamond and Salvagers and all the rest. And sometimes you get got.
But do they play Boil?
No.
Oh, wow.
Because it's not even good against blue decks. Too many of their lands aren't even technically islands anymore, that it doesn't screw them hard enough. Don't worry, it's not because they don't want to be mean casting Boil, it's because Boil doesn't screw them hard enough. Because they have too many non-islands that still tap for blue.
That Bellow Bard of Brambles was fun. I can't remember.
Yeah, Jupes was interested in playing this guy. I think he's cool. He's sort of an opalescence, but only during your turn, which to me kills the crab.
Yeah.
But it is like I think it would be a cool deck building exercise. It's just maybe a little too aggro.
A 3 mana, makes things when you cast things. I'm in.
Yeah, like he's cool. And he's also a little raccoon, so of course Juice likes
Did
him.
I see that properly? If you go back, Gruul, the top Gruul deck is a fucking day-night deck? Really? There's no way.
What does it do? Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes night.
Oh, I see.
Whenever
you play
wolf or
this
werewolf
and everyone concedes. Got it.
deals combat damage to a player, draw. Okay, so it's got the draw card clause on each. Target wolf gets big. Okay.
To the table willingly. Disgusting.
That is actually disgusting and annoying. But you care about day-night at least, so you're going to track it. The worst is when you only have one card in your 99 that makes it day, and then no one cares about day-night mechanically, but they have to track it anyway.
Omnath, Locus of Rage is my boy.
I think it's like, yeah, I think it's like what C was saying, that the tribe of wolves and werewolves is so underserved that if you want to be wolf or werewolf tribal, you have only one choice, and so they all flock to that, and that's why it's the highest. Like if there was a blue-green werewolf deck, you know, people would play that, but there isn't. There's just Tolvar, so.
I can't believe this many people are trying to make Kibo work.
Dude, Kibo, funny monkey.
It's a funny little guy.
He's just a little guy.
And Wolverine, best there is.
When are you getting the Morrowing Oob, though? What about Lazav, Demir Mastermind?
Some Demir action?
Wait, Lazav? Is that the huge vampire? That, instead of dealing damage, it mills them or exiles them or something? No, it's this one. Okay, I was thinking of a different one. Lazav Demir Mastermind. 3/3 hexproof for 4. Look at those mana symbols.
Damn.
Look at those pips.
Big Pipper.
Look at this Pipkin Pipper over here. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may have him become a copy of it. Except its name is Lazav. It's a legendary, and it also has hexproof.
It's kind of neat.
I think this is neat. Yeah, we got Mind Skinner, of course, as like the first new card people want to add to it. I'm a little sad because a lot of the reason a bunch of creatures are good is because of their ETB effect, and so he can't do that. But he can become a big, funny copy.
They had the right answer, that Abyssal Harvester. Dude, that card is sick, and people are still sleeping on it.
This dude, 3/2 for 3, exile target creature card from a graveyard. That was put there this turn. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a nightmare. Then exile all other nightmares. No, that's alright. Yeah.
I love that card.
It has to be able to tap, which is a downside. And it has to target something that was put there this turn, which is a downside.
Even something easy, like if they, you know, they sack their Sakura Tribe Elder, you could go grab it and then get you some ramp. You can just snipe some creature and sneak him right out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
You can even do it to their commander, because it technically has to move to graveyard to move zones, or no?
It does go to the graveyard, I think.
Yeah, I think it goes there and then you move.
It didn't used to, but they changed it,
Yeah, you don't steal it. It will still go back to the command zone, but then you have a copy of it just chilling as a token. I like it.
Lazav.
Yeah, but that Mind Skinner, goddamn,
that's a cool card. I like that one.
I never ran into it at Standard, and then suddenly I ran into like 5 decks in a row that was running it, and
I want to play this.
Funny little boy.
I want to play this with like damage can't be prevented, and just play a 10-1 for 3.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
It'd just be like an aggro deck. Like that would be funny. Principal Mind Skinner. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Principal Mind Skinner.
I know lots of people are playing that Overlord of the Belmerk in that format.
Him with the new ooze enchant. All right, I was scrolling up to see if there were any other suggestions. These are good.
Zoppendrill, obviously, as a commander.
Dopendrill as a commander. Look, Zoppendrill is he's a fine blocker, like cool creature that doubles the power of all your stuff. I like him.
Is there any mono commander that interests you?
Well, I do have Secret Commander Solemn Simulacrum.
Oh, that's true.
With Thassa Deep Dwelling as the commander. And then a million ways to find Solemn.
Yeah, that
and
one's pretty nasty.
Yeah. And then flicker him and double it and all sorts of interactions with exiling and returning.
Oh, what about, we were talking about the other day, what about the Nazguls and all that?
Oh yeah, I was building a deck list for CJ. Because you were talking to him about all the Nazguls, and I'm like, what if you could build a commander deck with the Nazguls in it that wasn't awful? And so I was trying to come up with one. It's okay.
Yeah, Post Malone, the mono black commander.
Oh, Kirik, did I misread your comment? I definitely don't want to do a mono black. So I kind of only want to do one Cabal Coffers deck, and I already have one. I guess I'll put it that way. And if you're not playing Cabal Coffers, there's no reason to play mono black at all. I do have a lot of like potentially good, like Kirik is actually fun. I think he's a fun commander.
What about Naya?
I could play a mono black Zhao Dun, which is actually fun with a bunch of snowlands and stuff. It's just Glarb is mostly a Golgari deck that happens to have some blue in it. I don't even really run any counter spells, so. Draw a Cardman, yeah. Draw a card.
You could do Rocco as a commander.
Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life. I played that a few times, but a while ago. The Rocco Cabaretti Search Already creature.
Go find your favorite creature.
Yeah.
Silver Bullet deck.
And you know what the favorite creature is? The funny bug, Wirewood Symbiote. And now you get the Rocco every turn. And that's the whole point. And I guess I haven't updated in a while because it had a dock side in it. Of course it had a dock side. Anyway, just some funny stuff. He's cool. My issue with him is he's cast one spell a turn by tapping all your land. So he's pretty slow. He's pretty during your own turn. You're only doing one thing a turn, which is not quite enough usually. But he is fun, and he's really fun to build. He's like a deck builder's dream because it's like, hey, you can search for anything, make the biggest Silver Bullet toolbox ever. Like, that's fun, right?
Can you imagine if they, like, I know it was on, brand to make him Naya because of the different families. If they made that literal card in a 5-color, that'd be the funnest deck to put together.
So you could make anyone be a secret commander, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one you were just about to mention before that?
Was I about to mention another one?
Yeah, I was talking over you once. Well,
Chad, get the clip.
It's gone. It's gone forever. Maybe it was Rocco. Maybe that was it.
Play Jetmir.
Jetmir. Yeah, the token man.
Yeah, Craterhoof.
Craterhoof in the command zone, yeah.
That one's like...
This deck, it's just really good.
It's just really good.
It's simply really good.
It's just like, okay, hey, I have 9 creature tokens, and I swing for lethal.
Yeah, if you want to play tokens in Naya, you have each of the extremes, or you have each half. If you want to win, you can play Jetmir, and if you want to dirtle around drawing cards and shit, you can play Balin. And it's a hot swap away, and most of the deck is probably still the same. It's whichever one you feel like doing.
And if you want a castle, you play Rin and Seri.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to play War Elemental for the first time since Mirrodin 1 came out, you can play Shalai and Alar.
If you want to play every dinosaur in Magic, play Pantlaza, Sunfavor.
I mean, if you're looking for Dinosaur Tribal, you have like 17 commanders to choose from. It's the most overserved faction I've ever seen since Elves. Werewolf sells maulding over how much support dinosaurs be getting.
Discover X, where it's the creature's toughness.
Jesus.
Sick. Good cascade every time you cast your tribe. Okay.
What about Drana and that Angel Lady dual commander? Drana and Linvala, do you mean?
Oh, dude, you could do your Gitrog Munster and what's-her-face. The deck you've been secretly wanting to make all this time.
Wonderful art and card frame on this. Very good work. 3/4 Flying Vigilance. Activate abilities. Creatures opponents control can't be activated, and then it has all activated of all of your opponents.
Sick.
And you can spend mana. This is like a fantastic creature in the 99, but a bad commander.
I'd agree.
As a commander, it doesn't do anything. And by do anything, I mean draw you cards and, just shit, right? But fantastic addition to the 99 as just an awesome silver bullet creature. That looks great. That's my judgment on that one. Great way to piss off the table. If they don't like it, they should kill her. It's simply a creature.
Can you activate an instant speed spell to eliminate that creature?
What about... his name is Hideo and he makes video games.
What the hell's her first name?
Oh, were you... do you mean...
Your Talia in the Gitrog Monster?
Yeah, T-Halia in the Gitrog, the garbage can.
It's HeyWoah's favorite card. It's the best card they've ever made in Magic.
This card's so great, right? So, it's a 4/4 for 4. Look at its combat abilities. First Strike, Death Touch.
Hello?
What a blocker. That's so good, right? You can play an additional land on each of your turns. That's ramp. You love to see it.
Love it.
Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. I actually don't care about this, but it's good. It slows your opponents down. That's great. And then when it attacks, sacrifice a creature or a land and draw a card. So it has draw a card printed on it. That's great. It's got a sacrifice outlet right on it. Great. It gives you a theme to work with. It's such a good defensive creature with First Strike, Death Touch. That's wonderful. So your opponents might not want to be attacking you all the time, which means they let you dirtle around fucking wasting time and drawing cards for even longer. And it has the decency to at least be in 3 colors, right? Wonderful.
Yeah, Duskmourn actually just gave you a great card with her... Where is it? It's that, 1 or 2 cost green creature that you mill 3 cards, and you can sack it to return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, Lumra. Right. I think. Lumra, the big bear. Yeah, the bear.
No. This is just a straight up normal creature. Let me find it.
I know there's a different one where it's like a 2/2 creature for 2, but then you pay 4 and sack it to do a similar thing.
Yeah, but it's lying in wait, at least. You don't just drop it and there's your effect. It's like, okay, when I want to activate this effect, I'm ready for it.
It also means a lot of times you play it and it sits out and it randomly dies and then you don't get your thing. But,
100%. It's like playing...
But it can block early too, so it's really just, it's positives and negatives. Thalia, yeah, I think Thalia's in there too. Thalia's in the maybe pile, because she does everything that I like, right?
Card.
Yeah. Yeah, she does everything I like, doesn't she? And she's sacrifice-based. And Glarb, when it was the lasagna spaghetti lady, Baba Lasagna, it was very sacrifice-themed, but now it's really not. I've
now it's
moved
everything
off.
you ever wanted.
Yeah,
and
it's
then you win.
greed. What was the name of the greed is good guy? The investor that they made the movie about.
The fucking, oh god.
He has like a repetitive sounding name.
Max Fun Site. Gordon Gekko.
Gordon Gekko, yeah. All right.
Blarb.
So it's a frog.
indeed
It's a
good.
frog. It's not quite a gecko, but it's close, right?
Glorbin Glarko.
Glorbin Gecko. Greed is good. The frog of Wall Street. Gordon Gekko. Yeah, that was it. Anyway, yeah, now it's just a bunch of greedy nonsense. And it's not really a sacrifice theme. I do sacrifice stuff with Sadistic Hypnotist. And there is an infinite combo with Zhao Dun, Phyrexian Altar, and Rise of the Dark Realms. But that's not really a theme, it's a 3-card combo, right? So, yeah, maybe I can, because every once in a while, you listen out the window, and it's almost like you can hear her voice, Baba Lee Saga, what was lost. I really did like that deck. And it was a sacrifice theme deck, and actually, I don't have a theme of sacrifice. And
what about
positively dirtle maxing with Dahlia, and when she attacks, you can sack a creature, so maybe that's in the maybe pile too.
I know you like ramping with lands, and I know you like landfall, and I know you like Field of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
What about Field of the Dead as your commander?
Yeah, the creature, the
Necrobloom.
What? Yeah, the Necrobloom. Yeah. No, I can't make another Field of the Dead landfall deck. I already have one. Yeah. And yeah, the Necrobloom. For the most part, this whole paragraph is the same as Field of the Dead. There are a few differences, but for the most part, it's just like, what if your commander was also a Field of the Dead? And then you play Field of the Dead, and then you play Vesuva, and maybe even Thespian Stage. And your whole thing is, whenever you put a land on the battlefield, you get 1,000,000 guys. And it sounds like I'm being dismissive. That's fun. That's what I do in Glarb. Yeah, I already do that in Glarb. I don't want another one, but it's cool. And it's nice that they printed a commander for 49 cents for people who can't afford a Field of the Dead. For
49 cents. I mean, Field of the Dead has a bunch of bad reprints now. It's not even that expensive.
Oh yeah, I suppose it peaked in expensive-ness when it was in standard, probably.
Yeah, you could probably get the shitty, like I have.
It's $40. It's $40.
It's like Cabal's Coffer is $20, and then Turborg is another $20. It's the same shit.
Head Shredder, oof. What is this?
Oh, Head Shredder is sick.
5/5 for 2. When it attacks, you may mill 2 cards. Okay. Whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from your library, put them onto the battlefield tapped. Oh. Crew 1. Oh, it prints money. If we're trying to self-mill, you don't even need to find your Lumra. They just put themselves out there. Man, those lands nowadays have no self-respect. They're just putting themselves out there. And this thing has dredge. Don't forget. So we got printed on Commander a way to dredge stuff.
We're talking about the 5-cost 8/8 trample. Like, show Head Shredder to somebody from like the early 2000s.
Look, Hermit Druid is still better. All right, chill.
Hey, new art on Hermit Druid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Don't you love the movie posters?
I like some of them. I like I like Rise of the Dark Realms. This one is classy. I like this movie poster one. I like.
Oh yeah, yeah. What about Igra, Eater of All?
I like the Blasphemous Act movie poster with Klaus Kinski on the cover there. This one's kind of nice. Most of them aren't good, but I like some of them, I guess. I'll put it that way. What were you going to say?
Blasphemous Edict, so good.
It's so good. Finally. Black gets one good wrath, besides Toxic Deluge.
Yeah, right. Have just another good board wipe that gets around indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
The game needs more of them.
What were you going to say?
Igra, Eater of All. YGRA. It's a Golgari and 3 for a 6/6 elemental cat. Ward, sack of food. Other creatures are food. In addition to their
other creatures are you are food. The ogre.
Whenever food is put into the graveyard, Eager gets 2 1/1 counters. It's kind of fucking hilarious.
And it's chasing your little red wall creatures in dandelion plains or lawn. This is a nice tier 0.
Oh yeah, he's fun with a capital F. I saw somebody play Commander in Standard with him, and it was the first time seeing him hit the field. I was just kind of in awe. It's like, oh, well, I blocked this creature. I just made him +2 better because my creature's a food.
All right, it's done. Good suggestions. I got another 2 free suggestions out of that.
Huge.
I'm gonna think about it. We're going into the lab on one of these, and we'll see what we come out with. Thanks for the help, chat. Probably be another stream this week. I might stream a lot this week because I'm unshackled from my prison, and so now I can choose to do things. I won't be streaming Thursday though, because I have to record. But I might. Either I'm going to stream every day this week, or none, and just sleep for 75 hours. So we'll see how that goes. Keep track on Discord. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a what card will these commander card, or what tier will these commander cards be in? What should it be and what will it be? I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like that. I think that could be fun. As we wait for Wizards to tell us how we're allowed to play the format that we invented. So, yeah, right.
I think I can slap together a visual aid.
I don't know that it needs to be a graphic. It's just like a place we can drag things, I guess.
Or maybe we just find like the top saltiest or top most powerful MTG card tier list and just change the tiers into 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, we'll just steal someone else's work. And creatively change it enough so that it becomes ours through actions.
And I love factories. And I love nude women.
Based. Anyway, hey, all right. Thanks for watching, chat. Appreciate it. I'll probably see you tomorrow. I'm going to see, like, what does it feel like to stream every day? Probably better than doing my job every day, which was the last month and a half. Anyway, TY for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, all right.